All right, everybody. Coming in for our first match of Jeekly Academy number 13, we have Mosco versus Not 37 Rats. Starting out neutral, really patient, runs up, gets a big 6H. Doesn't convert into a big combo though, pushes to the corner, gets the pressure started, and ends up getting a low. Just Not 37 Rats able to escape out, but Mosco able to use that DP.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this matchup's going to play out. So Rats is going to have a lot of 2P mash out of the corner probably to get away from Mosco's Rekka pressure. But when we get hard knockdowns, both of these characters are going to be trying to mix you up. Of course, we all know Chipp is that pixie mix character. Mosco, but getting taken out this round. But previous top 8er here at the Academy, I wouldn't be surprised if Mosco makes it pretty far. I think this is our first time seeing Not 37 Rats. We don't see too many Bedman, so I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
I mean, they're putting up a good fight in that first round. Mosco does end up losing the round themselves. And oh, look at this conversion. Big mix with the overhead into overhead. Goes back into neutral, but gets clipped by a button from Mosco. Doing a great job at representing these mix options. As you said, they've top 8'd before, and they look like they're in top 8 form today.
Yeah, you gotta be, man. This Academy is getting pretty stacked as of late. You can see it right now on the screen. 37 Rats got you with that air-to-air pickup. Had that 100-meter that keep playing, and Mosco knew it. Wanted the burst to keep themselves in this round a little bit longer. 37 Rats got another chance off that YRC. That 2P mash is going to take this very first round. Great start for both our players.
You know, Not 37 Rats representing that 2P from Bedman. A very great button, in fact. Up there with the likes of things like Anji 2P and even Venom's 2P. Very long-range normal. That's a 5-frame mash option. Spacing traps do not work.
And now it wasn't always like that, Ukio, back in the day. You know, back in my day, when I used to walk uphill both ways, this Strive Bedman, that 2P wouldn't convert into anything. But of course, being able to go into 236S now, it's a pretty good mash option. We'll have to see. Maybe we use it on the round start as well. Going to go a little bit safe, do that air back dash. Of course, you got that 8-way dash from Bedman. We're seeing Rats already pull it off in their pressure, but Mosco's got you in the corner. Got these counter hits started. Probably delayed a bit to try to catch that burst from Rats. Red RC is going to let you see it, but Rats still able to weave it out.
Ooh, but look at Mosco getting a big counter hit here. Forces into the corner, breaks the wall with the shuriken. Gets positive bonus on their side, and Chipp with positive bonus is a very dangerous thing. Getting these big hits, getting this big mix, has the 50-meter, now approaching 100, has to use the YRC, gets a nice little throw tech, and Not 37 Rats is on their back feet here, able to get this zoning started.
Yeah, now 37 Rats is doing a air pattern that Mosco is catching on to. We've been seeing a lot of counter hit air to airs. It's paying off in that life total. We only need one more hit on these Rats. Mosco going to use it on the overdrive, saying, hey, we need one more hit to finish it off. Not 37 Rats getting taken out by this overdrive, but a close round regardless.
Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that Chipp did have a reversal super. It's not something that you get to see very often. It does a really high damage, but it resets you back to mid-screen, so you don't get that positive bonus. But, oh, look at Mosco. Is able to get a big counter hit anyways. Doesn't really matter for the sake of the battle, because Not 37 Rats has to burst out. Big throw into the corner, has the resource lead, gets the big throw. We're setting up mix once again, gets another command throw. 2 in a row, tries to go for the mix-up, but Not 37 Rats able to 2P out.
Yeah, ready with that 2P. You called it earlier, man. And Mosco right there with a pretty good anti-air with that 5P into the 6P. 37 Rats wanted to keep that one going, but Mosco pretty confident with that burst, trying to just get another stray hit in here. But 37 Rats with this 100 tension is going to show you what it's all about. Able to carry Mosco all the way to the corner with that YRC. We get another chance here, but it's either player's round as 37 Rats catches you in that frame trap special. We're going to the last round of this game too.
37 Rats is just being, or not 37 Rats, gotta have the clear distinction there. Is doing a very great job on defense, just representing this 2P and being patient. It's almost like they know every single chance to mash, but Mosco able to get these counter hits, able to continue to the corner, but the combo ends up dropping. We're back in neutral again, having to reset, uses the YRC to reclaim advantage state, gets another big counter hit, but Not 37 Rats has a big meter advantage, gets the crops up burst, and puts Mosco into the corner. Might get a big wall break here.
Liking what I'm seeing. El Mosco does have this burst for that second chance. 37 Rats going to spend their BRC to drift forward, though. Taking a lot of damage here, El Mosco. That burst kept us in there a little bit longer, but I love what Rats just did right there. Saw that the Chipp was coming at you. Not a character that you really want to fight in the air, but as long as you pick your fastest button, you'll be safe. Right there, 37 Rats trading with that JP, or selecting that JP rather, kept themselves in the game. Up 2-0. Great stuff.
You know, 37 Rats, as I was talking about, just being really representative of options on defense. And, you know, Chipp, while their pressure is very good, and a lot of the times it can be used very effectively for not only high-low mix, but frame trap setups to catch people mashing. It's just like 37 Rats knows when to mash and where to mash, and it's working out so well for them right now, resulting in a 2-0 lead. But El Mosco, not to be outdone, able to start this game off right, making 37 Rats use 50 bursts to be able to get out of the situation. Gets a big super. We might not be close enough to the wall, though. Does get pushed into the corner. That's one command grab. What do we do for Hoki? Gets the cross up. Goes in for more pressure. Has 50 meter to spin, but doesn't get a chance to use it. Elects to use burst to keep up the pressure. Doesn't want to let 37 Rats get a chance to get in. Goes underneath the projectile, but gets hit with the JD.
Dude, I like what El Mosco is doing, though, man. We're so patient when we go back to that full screen. Of course, Bedman can threaten with those pins, with those needles, but El Mosco able to block it out. And even when Rats gets on top of you with that JH, El Mosco is not mashing that throw. We're just blocking it out and waiting for our turn, and it pays off with that round win. El Mosco playing really well here, but 37 Rats forcing you to. Look at this 236S carrying you all the way to the corner. 37 Rats rewarded with that positive bonus.
This big positive bonus. They've been using meter really well. Gets the counter hit 6H. This is a big combo starter, Jeek. This is some crazy pressure that's coming out right here. Has the meter advantage. 37 Rats uses the YRC. They're trading YRC for YRC here. Burst is slowly building stuff on the side of El Mosco, and the big overhead lands to take the round, putting themselves on set point.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that overhead, man. That's definitely one that's going to knock you out, especially when you press into it. But, of course, that was just a normal hit right there. El Mosco said, ain't nothing but a thing. I got you in this corner, but you saw that 2P mash. It's coming out. 37 Rats knows what button is up, man.
El Mosco being very... it's almost as if they're using burst as an offensive tool. They're able to get this pressure started so often, and rarely do they want to use it. They have the need to be able to get out of the corner or keep their pressure up, but 37 Rats pushing to the corner with this Bedman combo. There's only so much you can do here, and YRC throw is a good answer. You're on one interaction away from death. Jumps back from the grab, and 37 Rats able to get an anti-air out. Gets a big 6P. Oh, they have 50 meter on their side. Has to YRC. Trades YRC back. YRC run up throw. Doesn't get the tech. 37 Rats able to throw, but they're on the one last sliver of health, and El Mosco gets a game on the board to stay in the set.
So big credits to El Mosco getting away with these command grabs and these throws, saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you catch it right here. 37 Rats was ready with that tech. El Mosco was going for a deep meaty right there, and it ended up turning into a punish. So that's already an adaptation we see on that side of 37 Rats. Of course, El Mosco got the round, got one on the board. We'll have to see if that continues, but if 37 Rats is already catching on to those grabs, I don't know. El Mosco is going to have some more tricks up their sleeve.
Both of these players are very antsy in using their meter. It's like if one uses it, the other one uses it, but oh, look at that great mash that would have confirmed into a combo off of 5P. Doesn't end up getting it. El Mosco knows the danger of letting Bedman get a combo. What a grab on the run up, such aware defense. Big DP from El Mosco, who gets a big counter hit starter.
Yeah, I think El Mosco is delaying this pressure a bit to try to see if 37 Rats wants to spend that burst. Of course, now would be a little risky too. I don't know, actually depends on who you ask. You always got 100 tension. And Rats has been playing really well. Maybe they're confident here. But El Mosco with the super from downtown said, I know you're not going to block, homie, and I'm going to make you pay for it, taking you out in this first round of Game 4.
I don't think I've ever seen super used like that on round start. Right after the wall break, El Mosco's throwing out their bag right now. But 37 Rats is not to be outdone. They love getting in and getting this pressure started, but oh, look at this mix. Has to do something here. Gets the zoning game start up, something that Bedman just has such a good affinity for, and 37 Rats really imposing their will right now, showing why they're up a game in this set so far.
Well, good block on that drill, though, from 37 Rats. YRC, they get you some distance, but both of our players are too good with these anti-airs. You can't jump on either of these players right here. Mosco paying you back with that 6P, with this Rekka sequence in the corner, cashing out that 50 tension. It's looking so good for our Chipp player. The momentum is really swapped over, and you can see it with these command grabs too, Ukyo. This has been a crazy conversion for this Chipp.
You know, coming back into this set and really putting 2 quick games on the board, I think they've went 4-0 in rounds so far. You can really tell the adaptations that are coming out, really able to enforce this plus positive bonus gameplay. Positive bonus Chipps is probably one of the scariest characters in the game, in my opinion, especially whenever they're able to get into that win con with a hard knockdown on wall break. Oh, it couldn't be scarier.
Loving what I'm seeing. Not 37 Rats playing an awesome Bedman. We don't get to see too much Bedman here in the academy, so luckily we're at least getting to see it in this first game. I don't know, maybe Rats will have a really good comeback here in this last round. I got connection lost. It looks like maybe El Mosco got disconnected there.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and see what happened in the Discord for y'all. At least it happened outside the game, man. I'm always appreciative of that. So, El Mosco, you there? He's typing. Connection error. Okay, let's go ahead and remake the room just in case. At least it happened outside the game. You got to be grateful of that. Can you imagine if it happened during that game 5? Fingers crossed. Hope I didn't just jinx us, but...
Yeah, it's like a... It's... You know, just... I really do hate it, though, not being able to get right back into the game. It really does suck for El Mosco, but it happens to the best of us. Strive Earth is something that claims all.
And you know what? This is going to be good for both of our players, right? Of course, the momentum was going in El Mosco's favor, but it was only after we were down 2 games that we were able to figure out what was going on, slow things down, and adapt, right? Now, it's also good for not 37 Rats, because if you got the momentum coming against you, El Mosco is starting to run away with this lead. It says, okay, let me get a second to breathe. Why am I losing to this Chipp? What are they doing differently that they weren't doing in the first 2 games? How can I make some changes? So hopefully it pays off for both of our players. We see a competitive last round from not 37 Rats and El Mosco. Dude, this has been a fun one to start off on. The Academy, we've been really privileged that a lot of our rounds and pools have been just as exciting as the top 8s, and I think I could say the same so far.
I mean, just showing the quality of the kind of matches and players that the Academy brings. The literal first match on stream goes to Game 5. Like, you couldn't ask for better.
Okay. Whew. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed, man. No more connection errors. Let's get through this last game of the first round, the first match of the Academy 13, man. El Mosco, this goat seer, by the way, catching with this overhead. A little bit faster than that Bedman overhead, but of course they both got... These are similar characters if you really think about it, Ukyo. I don't know.
Both of them do like to get in and have a crazy oppressive mix thing, but I do think that these conversions are one thing that differentiates them, and also the fact that El Mosco has access to that DP, really playing defensively right now from 37 Rats and able to get this pressure started with the delay throw. Goes for a little bit of a delay on the meaty to try and catch something that just 37 Rats is doing. Look at this looping throw mix. Goes for the cross up, gets the 2D and puts the round on the board. We're on set point, G.
Gotta give 37 Rats some credit for blocking that mix that El Mosco's been going for. The jump back, same side overhead, but of course we caught you in that stagger low afterwards. 37 Rats catching you in this stagger over here, and that Chipp HP, man. Bedman actually does a lot of damage when you get some good hits in, and you're seeing it right here. Look how quick that round was. Not just set point, Ukyo. Now we're on match point.
Not only that, but got it with a perfect. It's like 37 Rats really just had a switch flip, but oh, look at El Mosco getting this tightrope mix that wasn't available before this season. Gets a big counter hit, has a big combo on board, but 37 Rats wants to spin the burst, doesn't want to go through the wall and get challenged with this scary trip pressure. Look at the tech on the grab, Jeek. Things are only getting scarier if you're 37 Rats.
Oh, good attempt on that anti-air of the JD. It ended up being a punish regardless. YRC says, hey, I don't want to deal with that frame trap special. You saw 37 Rats active as well with their 2P. Both of these players want to win so bad. You can see it in both of their play. No tension on either side, so you got to just keep it simple. One command grab, and then the Alpha Blade takes it. Mosco in a very close set, down to the wire, takes it 3-2.
All right, everybody. Second match of pools, and we have DannyBoi versus, let me make sure I get the name right, Gorpo. Both playing very interesting characters you don't get to see too often, but this Bedman really great at controlling space and showing the zoning pressure, being able, going in for the low, but doesn't convert it into a combo. Gets the big JS mix. The vacuum really helps convert into a big combo here, but doesn't use the super to break the wall. Ooh, Gorpo able to get a big counter hit, but DannyBoi able to trade right back and take the first round.
Good stuff there, DannyBoi. DannyBoi and Rats, and maybe some other players will have to see, showing you that this Bedman character is in the game. Of course, maybe some of y'all beginners out there haven't seen too much of the Faust, a character that can be hyper-specific when you're playing defense against them, so you have to be careful. These Faust players will trick you up, man, but that's fighting games for you. So fun to watch both of these off tiers beating each other up. Gorpo getting this grab started, has that 50 meter to play with, but DannyBoi still got you in the corner before you're going to get a chance to spend it.
Gold Burst gets a chance to hit. We're gonna have Meteor here on the side of Gorpo. Gets the Meteor, goes in for the teleport on the Meteors, but doesn't end up getting the snip. Can't get the command grab here. You're sitting at full screen versus a character like Bedman. Gets the big install. These ranged specials are gonna be very damaging, but Gorpo does not care. Gets the mini Faust, but the needle comes out and secures the game for DannyBoi.
I do like that mini Faust got a little bit of a afterlife from the grave, a little martyrdom right there. Shout out to COD. But that pin was able to take it. Maybe DannyBoi went for another item saying, hey, I want to try to get, mini Faust feels good. Now let's back it up with something better, right? Of course, if you can throw that mini Faust and then you get like a hammer right after, you can whack away from the other side of the screen. You get a 100-ton weight. You got to force that Gorpo to start jumping, or that DannyBoi to start jumping. But, not today. Got to look out for those fireballs. DannyBoi showing you why. Getting that first game on the board. Loving what I'm seeing.
One thing that has really stuck out to me in these brackets that I've commentated, especially today, whenever we're seeing characters like Bedman, is how well these players are using the new additions to Season 4. Like, DannyBoi here being able to go in, and a lot of their pressure sequences, like right there, using that vacuuming JS to go in for a big combo, and converts it into mix, but Gorpo not afraid to mash a button to catch out something. But DannyBoi just getting the chance to be able to set up this long-range zoning game again and ends up taking the round for it.
And that long-range zoning can be a pain to deal with. Some characters have a better chance with it than others. Of course, we were seeing Chipp earlier able to run around those projectiles. Faust does have that Scarecrow PRC. We'll have to see if Gorpo pulls it out of that bag of tricks. Unfortunately, throwing the banana right there, it ended our pressure trying to get out of that corner. DannyBoi taking advantage of it with this frame trap special. Got you on that counter hit. Look at this dance from the Bedman. Couldn't keep that combo going, but call that one a droppable. We're going to go ahead and take you out with this install super. Going to carry that buff into the wall break right here. Gorpo does have the meter to play with. Starts us off with the 2H.
Able to get some good pressure started, but doesn't let it convert into the round win. And DannyBoi going up here, 2-0, I believe, in very fast fashion. I do think Gorpo still has a lot of room to be able to adapt and do some great things. They're doing a great job at calling out these unsafe pressure sequences from DannyBoi, but it's just a matter of Gorpo collecting themselves and getting themselves back into the game. Can never underestimate the power of a break. Leave my dad alone. Mini Faust probably getting in here to game 3 of the set. Gorpo starting out on the offensive, throwing the head down, really trying to establish this insane Faust pressure. Ends up getting the horn, doesn't end up converting into anything off of it. Throws out another horn, but the spacing control for who gets it is being very vicious. 2K, 2D into the special, goes into the corner with the mini Faust on their side. Look at this combo from DannyBoi. Doesn't even let Gorpo spin their meter.
That's really been to DannyBoi's credit, you know, keeping that pressure full screen and in your face, saying, hey, I know you got the resources, you're building them up, but I'm not going to give you the chance to even show me what the tricks are, because I'm going to take you out with this Bedman pressure. But you were complimenting Gorpo earlier for finding the gaps, and we're seeing it right here, finally getting some stuff started, throwing that 100-ton weight, ending that pressure from DannyBoi as well. But DannyBoi willing to press on that minus frame as well with that 2K, that 2D, hell of a Bedman sequence, and now we're rewarded with this corner pressure against Faust.
Corner pressure is scary against any character, but gets the big counter hit into the bone-crushing excitement. What a great use of your meter there, finally getting a chance to start some pressure of your own. But goes for some safer mix. The Scarecrow doesn't end up getting the pressure that you'd like. The 2K 2D uses the White Wild Assault. The scaling, though, makes it a little bit hard to kill here. Uses the install super for a button. For a super that ends up
going into our winners round 3, y'all. We got a little bit of a mirror match. We're not immune to that here at the Academy. We got Arashi Miruku versus Revadah. Now, if you watched Academy before, you've seen Revadah cooking on this Kai. Now, Arashi over here, apparently it translates to Riot Milk. Is that what you're saying, Ukio?
Yeah, from what I know, they told me that it does, but look at this combo from Rev. Arashi willing to burst out. Very patient neutral here, able to cash out that stun state to get a plus on block Fudra arc, but it doesn't end up converting to anything. Look at Arashi using that 2P, showing this character knowledge. Goes in for the 2S, doesn't convert into anything. 2K 2D knockdown into the stun edge. But, oh, here we go. Or that's Dire Clot. Oop, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. The DI already. It's the first round.
Yeah, man. Arashi saying, hey, I got these Kai buttons. I'm going to show them off, but Rev not going to give you a chance in this first round, so you're going to have to try again, homie. Try again. But we're trading both of our buttons back and forth. Arashi really confident after they're saying, don't run up on me. I got this DP to keep myself safe. But Rev got you in this corner, got these throws applied. You got to throw early, throw often out here in Guilty Gear Strive, man. You get rewarded with that in the early rounds because then your opponents are backdashing later on. We'll have to see if that plays out.
What a big block from Arashi, almost reading that they were going to DP. Rev using the Roman cancel, goes for the burst bait. What a great burst delay timing. 5K into the safe pressure starter, gets the big conversion. Out here looking like Danny has 100 meter on their side with positive bonus. Gets the PRC air grab, stopping them from doing anything. Both of them are able to use this great pressure sequence, and Arashi able to come back from the brink of death.
Like that, Arashi checking with that 2P, using all those Kai buttons, man. Of course, we joke on that stun dipper. We all know about that 11 frame DP. That one that Rev just showed you right there in that shock state combo, good stuff. But Arashi not scared to show you those 2Ps, but Rev right here with a hell of a combo. A lot of damage applied, trying to get a really deep run in, but Arashi's defense is so strong so far. We haven't really been cracked yet. Rev is looking for a way to open up this Kai, but man, even when the HP is low, Arashi's defense is so locked in.
Ooh, but look here. This pressure sequence gets the fuzzy jump, baits the burst. What heads up play from Rev to take the first game?
And Rev was probably watching that burst for a minute, was already cued into Arashi having that resource on deck. So it was just a small hit, right? That JK wasn't even going to turn into a big combo, but said, hey, I know you want to probably spend that burst, homie. So great stuff right there from both of our players, man. I like what we saw from each of them. Of course, Rev got that first game, but I think Arashi's got some tricks up their sleeve. We're going to see some more play from this Kai.
You know, playing against Arashi before, just in casuals, they play defense and neutral in general just very passively. It's in great contrast to Rev, who likes to use the rushdown qualities that Kai does have, using the 6P to get through the fireball there. Just look at Rev imposing this very great air approach game that Kai has. Gets the big shimmy, has to use the burst, can't go underneath the big stun edge. but gets thrown out of the corner. Big follow-up on this pressure here. What do we do here for Arashi?
Right now, Arashi's going to FD block it out. Saw that we had that shock state set. I'm not going to let you get a free hit on me while I have that buff applied, because of course Rev is really good at doing that shock state DP combo. I like dancing around here, but that recovery state on the ground after throwing the projectile, Rev's going to take advantage of that and be rewarded with this first round of game 2. But we were going back and forth there for a second, man.
You know, just like, look at the combo routing from Rev is just so clean. Able to make sure they get the most out of every situation, but Arashi here, able to get the corner pressure going, gets this strike throw game from the most honest character in the game, wink wink. Gets the big wall break here. Rev running up and throwing, giving caution to the win. DI install in Arashi's face!
Yeah, Rev was ready saying, I know you showed me that one earlier, I'm going to show you it in action. But Arashi does have about 100 tension to play with. Going to spend some of it to start off on that PRC JD. Got Rev in the corner for their troubles. BRC to see what was going on the screen. Wild Assault to take away that burst. And before you had a chance to spend it, we were already ready with that RTL. Arashi still has that defensive mechanic on lock. We'll have to see if we have to even spend it. Gets a chance to. Rev now full screen, still in that install. But Arashi in a slow round and a long one, able to still close it out.
Arashi just playing very patient, understanding that the game isn't over until that life bar goes to 0. Great job at using that 5K into tick throw. Big charge just here from Arashi. Gonna convert into a combo. Gets the positive bonus on their side. But Rev able to use that DP out. Not having many resources on their side. Gets the stun dipper into the Roman cancel. Big conversion for a combo, and look at this damage on Arashi's side.
Heavy stun edge and that counter hit JS. A little bit of a screen slowdown there for a second. Just enough time to see what was going on. Arashi able to get this counter hit afterwards on Rev. But man, we were going back and forth, dude. These Kais, this isn't just a mirror in terms of the characters. It's a mirror in terms of skill, I'd say.
You know, it's also just a really great contrast in the different kind of skill expression, player expression that you can have with a character like Kai, and just Guilty Gear in general. These characters are supposed to be Shotos, but you're seeing two players play them entirely different. Well, except for that situation where both of them start the round off by playing patient. And look at Rev returning the JD favor, but doesn't end up finishing the combo, doesn't get the positive bonus on their side, and Arashi is able to take advantage of that.
Oh, trying to beat that burst right there. Rev pretty confident that Arashi would use it, but holding on to it this time. We'll have to see if we make an adaptation afterwards. PRC to slow down a bit, but Rev was ready with that tech on that air throw. Gyroclat to get this little corner bounce combo. I like this. Rev trying to go for that deep throw, but Arashi was ready, saw it coming.
Can't mash there. That's a meaty setup. Has the Sacred Edge to break the wall. Gets a hard knockdown and has stun state. Runs up for the 5K, but doesn't end up killing. But does end up getting the kill with the fireball in neutral. Look at Arashi being so incredibly patient to get these rounds out. And Rev just really trying to impose their will. Just the defense on Arashi's side. Has to use the burst here. Uses the air fireball. Gets the 5K tick throw setup. Goes for the charged fireball. Oki, the Flippy Dippies, I forgot its name, goes into a big combo, converts into a wall break here for Arashi.
Like what we're seeing, man. Late cancel on that stun dipper, but still able to get the corner carry off of it. Great stuff right there from Rev. Using that ability to the best of our ability. But Arashi, man, Arashi was ready. That, hey, even though I'm in the corner, I only got a little bit of life to chew through. I got this positive bonus on my side, was ready to mash. Even if it traded, was going to work out in their favor. They saw it coming, able to get this game 2 on the board. Looking strong for this Kai, but we got another one on the other side of the screen who's got some more tricks up their sleeve. Regular top 8er here at the Academy. I'm excited to see what Rev has got to adapt here, but Arashi, going to be a pretty hard wall to climb, I'd say.
I think chat likes my on the fly flippy dippy call out, but that doesn't matter in the face of game 3 here at the Jeekly Academy 13. Look at this back and forth pacing. Rev deciding to use burst early, risk gauge building up on both sides, but what a DP from Arashi, what a DP from Rev. Doesn't go for another DP on the meaty here, gets the JS, using these fuzzy jumps really well, clashing on these fireballs, but Rev able to win the Clash Fireball War.
Right here, Arashi going to take you in the corner though off that Sun Dipper. I like that both of our players were slowing down things a bit with those fireballs. You see Arashi still doing so. Of course, it gets that shock state applied. You can use it to your advantage off of these other special moves. Arashi showing you right there. We're going to use that Sun Dipper Red RC to put ourselves here on set point. Of course, Arashi's up 2-1 right now. Rev starting off strong with that counter hit 2D. Look at this combo. A lot of stuff going on right here. Rev going to take advantage of Arashi being here in the corner.
You know, Rev being very patient on offense, but it just not going for the better of us. Gets the PRC, calling out the fuzzy jump from the situation. Gets the big conversion into a wall break. Gonna have positive bonus on their side. And Arashi's at such low health, but the dash back into Kai far slash. That button does work, and Rev able to go up in the, or not go up, tie the set or game 1-1. Man, I'm having a hard time talking today.
It's okay, man. This mirror back and forth has been hard for both of us, I'd say, especially our players. Rev showing you right there with that wild assault 5D that Arashi blocked, by the way. I got hit, but great stuff. A little bit of a throw whip into a burst that Rev was able to see with that Red RC. Great stuff right there, slowing things down, getting this positive bonus, but Arashi is going to have that 50 tension to play with here probably in just a second. That is if Rev gives you a chance. Great stuff right there, closing out that game 4. We're going to a 5th one.
Yeah, just like, look at this combo conversion and patience on offense. As I was talking about earlier in the game before it, doing a great job at just stopping and wanting to see how Arashi reacts during pressure, because patience not only does it matter on defense and neutral, but even whenever you're running on offense, you have to be able to give yourself a chance to see what your opponent is doing to be able to react. Two game 5, or well, I guess we've had 2 game 5 out of the 3 we've watched so far. This is crazy. I love it here.
Couple game 5s going on. Arashi starting off strong here, hitting these throws, getting that shock state. Good jump right there from Rev, dodging that other projectile, but got caught in the air, kept themselves safe with the burst. Stun Dipper to get in, trying to bait defensive options here from Arashi. Couldn't get that punish on that whiff DP, so we still have that burst in our back pocket. We'll have to see if we use it. Arashi going to go ahead and take it to the other side of the wall, but we'll have 100 tension to back ourselves up.
Able to win this gauge war, but Rev not really caring, doing a great job at just converting into hits after hits, has the Roman cancel to be able to take the round, and Rev goes on set point, but Arashi still has the meter lead.
Like what we're seeing, Arashi really clean with this 2P checking to the throw, showing you right there with the 2K checking to the throw. Arashi ready with these tick throws, Rev falling for them, so you don't need to change what ain't working, what is working rather. Arashi showing you this work right here. Gonna take it to the wall. Dire Clad, getting that shock state applied. Rev right here with his 50 tension. Been so good at spending it on those stun dippers from downtown.
Wanting to use burst here, wanting to maintain all this minute, but Rev using that Kai far slash. What a good button it is. Able to just establish pressure with these long normals, DPing inside of their minus frames, able to break the wall with a Sacred Edge, and Arashi is on the back foot here, even if they have meter or not.
Oh, the air throw coming in from Rev. Both of our players so good at teching those air throws back and forth. But Rev showing you that air throw in the very last interaction, taking this set 3-2. But man, I would be proud if I was either player right now. That was a really cool set.
For our first top 8 qualifier, we have GGG's the Hoki and Squish, 2 players that have been top 8ing a lot here at the Academy, and Squish starting off showing why, able to get this big pressure, but Hoki able to confirm into the crazy combo. This neutral is being played so well from both sides. able to secure hits and conversions. Big counter hit here from Hoki, goes into the mix, but doesn't get much of anything off of it.
Nothing yet. We're going to start you off with this parry hit right back. Hoki spending that meter, but Squish with a lot to spend as well. Not looking so good off of a back throw incident, right? Already having 50 tension and that positive bonus to back it up. If the world is your oyster as this Jacko. Hoki getting put into this pressure right here. Caught with that RC2K. Strong stuff here from Squish. Hoki's got to warm up a bit against this Jacko, and we all do, man. When we play against a character like this who wants to zone you out with those bots and then start mixing you point blank, starting to play that single player pressure game, you got to warm up. You got to get those hands away from being cold so you can get your pressure started like this. Hoki going to bounce you around with this Ko. Squish fighting right back. Resources getting traded. It's going crazy, Ukio.
Being able to do a great job at just this resource battle, as you said, Jeek, being able to get the wall stick before they even get burst, able to establish positive bonus on the side of Hoki before anything even happens, but Hoki not able to get in with these spins. It's like Squish knows exactly what timing they're on for the spins, gets all three bots set up, but look at this parry super, able to tie up the game one apiece. Fish coming out from Hoki, doing a great job at establishing this mix and just punishing Squish for doing anything in neutral. Look at that backdash, gets the big burst bait, but doesn't end up getting a confirm off of it. Doesn't confirm into anything. The 2D able to be spaced out from the parry. Squish does not care how you're spending your resources, able to call it out this time, and we're pushing back to the corner.
Squish going to send you through. Got that tension built up. Hoki does have this burst to play with defensively if we have to. I like that from Hoki. Blocking out those projectiles, blocking out the orb and that bot. But Squish able to keep themselves safe with that double whiff grab RC into a low. Two of those back to back. Squish showing you that here in Guilty Gear, the rules don't matter. Even if I whiff that grab, I'm ready with the lows right after.
Hoki doing a great job calling out the grab both times, but just Squish being a heads up to know that it's a reverse mind game. The bait, knowing they're gonna bait, but has the meter to be able to cash out and keep themselves safe, and just able to punish whatever Hoki wants to do as a follow-up option. Very great stuff from Squish to secure that first game.
Going again, you know, whiff throw PRC the GOAT. Shout outs to the open last night. You guys catch that Lurie classified game? I won't spoil it. And then Launcher in the chat as well. K Craver, Bachelor. It's going to Bachelor with the follow, by the way. Appreciate you, homie. Y'all are just in time. We're qualifying here at the Jeekly Academy, trying to get into this top 8. Hoki definitely, I mean, depending on the day, Hoki one of the favorites to win the whole thing. Almost got there once. And Squish showing us this Jacko, man. This is another character, dude. Dude, all the characters, Ukio. We've been seeing Bedman, Faust, and now this Jacko. These characters force you to learn some specific stuff when you're new to this game.
They're also just, they play very interesting with the concrete rules set for not only fighting games in general, but Guilty Gear itself. And they really force you to be able to understand your character to a degree that some characters may not have to do. But Squish showing that they have this knowledge, not only in the matchup versus Anji, but on their character, able to take the first round of game 2.
Oh, catching you on those throws, man. Saying, hey, Squish, you gotta get ready with those tech throws. And you also can't just press that 2D every time, especially if I'm ready with my spin. But right there, Squish got a chance to spend it. Able to swap the corner pressure here. Gonna parry through the bot. Good heads-up play from Squish saying, hey, I know it's still active. I know it has a follow-up. I'm gonna block it out. But it still pays off for Hoki. We still have that corner. But Squish ready with that back throw, man. We're so active on that defense.
You know, just trading these throws back and forth, they're really mattering. Hoki doing it on offense, Squish doing it on defense. It's the plague of the Guilty Gear strive to do throws on defense. And Hoki, I think as they're getting psyched by knowing that they might be able to do a throw, but not able to do anything about it because of the PRC. But Hoki runs up throws off of being in a very scary situation.
Yeah, that was about to be Squish's game 2 right there, but Hoki locked in, as they say. Dancing around these bots, Squish trying to get a stray hit in. You got 3 on the screen, Hoki. You gotta get a hit in, but not today. Squish, I think, was at the 2S from Jacko. It's a hyper-specific button, so a little bit of a drop. Going to keep this pressure going. And I like that when Squish doesn't have the bot set up, says, hey, all I got to do is get my neutral set up. I'm going to jump back, get a bot out. I'm going to make Hoki get hit by one, and then I'm going to send you through the wall. We're not pressing too hard. We're just keeping things simple.
You know, Hoki just... they're not taking care of the Jacko minions right now, and Squish, taking the most of the advantage, has to use burst, and these Anji guts are really saving us right now, making the damage that Squish does matter less, but Squish just really applying this damage with the bots and taking game 2.
Great stuff, man. Now, of course, once Hoki is able to get on, you're seeing the damage applied, right? Now, Squish is ready with those 2Ds and the 2Ks in the corner. We also saw a back throw incident, so Squish is still not going to take it lying down. But when we're full screen, man, Squish is so good at that zoning, so good at getting those bots applied, trying to get Hoki to dance around them, and then making him hurt when we don't dance around them well enough. Squish showing you that this Jacko can be a bit of a filter.
Like, the thing is, Hoki just is not taking care of the minions right now, and it's something that really matters in this matchup, would you say, G?
I think so, but of course, if you're playing well like Hoki does on this Anji, man, sometimes it doesn't, you know, sometimes in this game, it's like, hey, I don't care what you're doing, I'm going to get on top of you. Hoki really strong with those spins we saw in the corner, really strong with those Rekkas. Right now, blocking them out and checking the bots. Look, as simple as that, right? Checking with that 2P, and that's all you need. And now it's the Hoki show out here. Look at this.
Going for the mix that Hoki has been able to show in the past, but doesn't end up getting the combo into the corner, but gets more mix. Squish is left on a shred of health, but Squish able to get out of that situation with this impressive defense, but goes for the spin into the fish to not only get the hard knockdown, but the round itself.
And Hoki just showed you a cool trick right there, showing that you can spin through those bots as a sort of anti-air, a sort of check to the bots. But Squish also checking you, saying, hey, if you want to co instead, I'm going to check you with my orb, I'm going to check you with my bots, I'm going to frame trap you right there with that Jacko kick. Hoki with that 2P check, man. Not only is it good at clearing those bots, but it's good at getting that Jacko off of you.
Ooh, look at this big conversion from Hoki. Oh no, ends up dropping the basic B&B, but it doesn't matter. Able to continue the combo. Burst finally gets on the side of Squish, able to get a big counter hit and has to spin it. Doesn't want to get hit by this Hoki damage that's been applied the entire set. Oh no, it ends up whiffing, and Hoki able to take a round and get on the board.
Man, what a quick game right there. And dude, it was just what? Like 2 adaptations, right? The 2P checks and the spins through the bot throws, and look at that, it's the Hoki show all of a sudden. Now, of course, that ain't saying that Squish ain't playing well right now. We got 2 games up here on the board, running that Jacko pressure. But once Hoki starts playing the game with you, saying, hey, I'm here, my stick is working, I fixed the buttons, y'all. Then all of a sudden, it's, oh man, I got to play against this Anji. I got to keep that pressure off of me. I got to upgrade this zoning, and I got to pull some tricks out of my sleeve.
Yep. Hoki just incorporating that 2P, being a little bit more patient on spins, and it's like a Maharaga's wheel turning, finally adapting and getting the pushback that Squish is, I think, really not getting a chance to adapt to as of late. But Squish, though, showing that they might have something up their sleeve, gets the 2K 2D off the PRC, goes for the jump in, but 6B on the ready from Squish, using these jump back JDs to really control space well. Hoki on a last little bit of health, knows that if they use that fish that it wouldn't have worked, but Squish able to get a perfect to put themselves on set point.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one back. I think Squish went for a delay tech, but it ended up just being a throw incident right there. Hoki got you in this corner with that close slash stagger. Now that stagger has been kind of scary because Squish has been ready with the back throws and with the 2Ks. Doesn't pay off this time. Hoki running the Hoki show, man. Getting you in with that low. It got blocked, but then the 2K 2D came out. Able to bring us here. Still on set point for Squish, but Hoki showing that we're still strong. That last game wasn't a fluke. You still got to look out for this Anji.
Look at this mix coming out from Squish. Gets the bot set down and then goes for some ambiguous left-right and has the bot to cover them. But Anji, though, able to get in, gets this guard crush, allows them to go for pressure, gets the follow-up that allows them to go for a throw, goes for the low, has to make Squish spin that YRC, and gets the parry, but we've seen this situation before where Squish is able to bait it out with the bot press, and Anji is now stuck in a very defensive situation, but has that 2P to get out.
Squish ready with that back throw, though. I said it earlier, Ukio. And look at this bot waving goodbye, but we got another one coming right back out. Hoki gonna get you stuck on this projectile. Squish had a second chance with that burst, going through the bot, probably prepping a spin, but Squish caught you on the startup of it with a bot of our own. Woke up not blocking BRC to slow things down a bit. Go for the stray hit. Man, that was a close one. Either player's game, but today it was Hoki evening things up 2-2.
Some slight drops there from the side of Squish, maybe letting the nerves of the situation get to them. Again, this is a top 8 qualifier that our players are currently fighting for, and Hoki just able to really grind out that spaghetti neutral and just really able to come out on top when it comes to the scramble like an over easy egg.
There you go, man. I love that little... Dude, I'm hungry, by the way, Ukio, man. I just rushed right over to this academy, my man. You got your coffee. I got a little bit of water. I took some medicine this morning. But here I am. I'm having Guilty Gear for breakfast, and both of our players are here as well. Going to this Game 5. Was it our third Game 5 today? Yeah. Our pools are always as good as the top 8s, it feels like.
Just the level of competition that a bracket ran this well brings. But not to self-promote, we're already here. Hoki, though, able to really even up the situation, but Squish able to get these hits in the air, staying patient, blocking, able to get this Fujin into the overhead, runs up, gets the meaty counter hit, goes into a big combo. Look at this, Jeek!
Yeah, a little too high up to get the wall splat, but it was still looking cool to me. When you get those really high up co's that Squish is allowing with those double jump bots, Hoki's able to get that close slash right after. Here we are on match point. But I'm liking what Squish is doing, trying to get those bots established, trying to catch the startup of spin. Once you got that bot on top of Hoki, your choices are a little limited. But these high up pose, man, they've been going crazy.
Being able to get these big counter hits off of the co's and able to set up this crazy mix. Hoki is able to go in, get the burst bait, able to convert into a combo that breaks the wall. Squish, though, has 50 meter on their side. It's going to take Hoki some time to be able to get this 50 meter on their side, but look at Squish able to set this game plan in motion, has the YRC, goes to run up for the throw, but it doesn't end up mattering. Squish able to get a big 6P. Hoki is about to have burst on their side, decides to not use it. Able to burst there, not wanting to let Squish get this pressure in the corner that they've been using to their degree, gets the counter hit and is able to reverse the bad situation. Oh my god, G.
Almost winning the last academy. You got Red Dawn coming in here on the Faust. Also had a big cheering party for them as well. Coming in on this Faust, man. We don't see a lot of Faust here at the academy, especially one as good as Red Dawn, man. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Red Dawn cooking on this Faust. But JMAndrew, I think in their first academy run ever, trying to qualify for top 8 on this Elphelt.
But look at this pressure from Red Dawn. Able to get these afros set up. Gets the afro into the snip. The snip doesn't end up connecting, but gets the afro anyways. JMAndrew able to get this crazy pressure, but look at the reactions from Red Dawn. Able to convert into a wall break. That was insane.
Great stuff, man. This Faust character can be fun to watch, dude. Especially when you're a pretty good pilot of them, like Red Dawn is. Really deep run in there from JMAndrew, going to pay off with the throw. Probably trying to catch a potential backdash from Red Dawn. But that dead zone 6P, man. Of course, I think that 6P is a pretty good answer normally against Elphelt. But when you got such a front-facing 6P like Red Dawn's, like Faust, you can still get caught by that Pineberry, it seems.
It shows that they have the reactions on deck. It's a little bit unfortunate, but look at this mix from JMAndrew. Able to establish their game plan with this Elphelt, but doesn't end up mattering. Red Dawn has the reactions showing why they're in this top 8 qualifier. Being able to get back and throw out this banana that ends up catching off the PRC, but gets the item eat into the snip. We're going to see some great pressure here.
And this is cheap, the re-snips, but great backdash on that safe jump from Andrew. Said, hey, I know I got the afro. I know that my options are limited, but this backdash can beat that meaty. Of course, you still got the afro, so that JH counter hit's going to deal a lot of damage here from Red Dawn. Able to throw that bomb. The afro is gone now. Andrew still needs one more hit, but you were pressing too much, homie. The bomb took you out, and you saw Red Dawn was ready with the block, ready to play around those items, and that's what you got to do to be a great Faust player.
It was a heads-up play there, able to continue the pressure, but elects to be on the defense whenever going for that, whenever having that bomb in the background. But looking into this round, Red Dawn able to get this risk up well, uses that 2K to be able to catch off guard, and look at this mix from the mix, able to get the big throw into the explosion, and JMAndrew has to burst out.
Yeah, once a Faust starts hitting you with a bombo like that, I'd be mashing burst too. I said, nope, I'm not giving you that clip, homie. But unfortunately for the Red Dawn, Andrew's got that bomb vest applied. This can be a hell of a super to play around. Got that super to keep yourself safe. Pineberry was still active, so the PRC slowed things down, but the projectile still lingered, and it pays off here for JMAndrew, getting the first game, but it was still a close one.
I can tell this set's going to be very grindy of who's going to end up winning. Both these players representing some very great options in the match, and you can tell that that game was more of an information game for both players more than anything. Being able to throw caution to the wind, and Red Dawn able to throw out these items, and JMAndrew willing to just run up and throw or run up and start their mix, and it just translates into a game that was very fast and aggressive, and it didn't even feel like it went to final round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Gear, man. These games can be close and they can be back and forth, but they can still be fast. You know, we play an interesting fighting game. And right now, Andrew already ready for those JH approaches with the 6P against Red Dawn here. It's got you on that cross-up, but Red Dawn not only ready with the blocks on the cross-up, but ready with that 2K. That means we definitely have lapped against this Elphelt at least a little bit. We know enough to get by. Bursting you back, able to throw this bomb bag. Andrew caught up in this Faust pressure, caught up in that red RC mix, and we're stuck here in the corner. I like this defense, keeping things safe, FD blocking things out. This is going back and forth.
Very great burst timing there from JMAndrew, but Red Dawn ready to be able to get the nasty cross up. We saw them represent that so well whenever they were in their top 8 run, able to get the horn, establishing this pressure. Look at this luck from the item pools, Jeek.
And sometimes with these items, whether you're lucky or unlucky, you still got to be able to play around them well. You got to give that credit to Red Dawn getting this first round here in game 2. 6P'ing you back, jailing you with that mix, but Andrew wisely taking our turn back, but losing our opportunity afterwards with that 5D. Red Dawn's got you in that Wild Assault mix, trying to get something started, picking you up, juggling you around with this mix, building up that tension. We got to see what's going to happen on this other side of the screen.
Goes for the BRC forward, wants to try and force JMAndrew to do something, anything, but Red Dawn able to get a big conversion here, has the meter on their side, doesn't end up burst baiting, and JMAndrew is able to reset pressure, give themselves a second lease at life, doesn't have the meter on their side like they would want. Bomb gets thrown down, but not in the rage of JMAndrew, able to start this mix, goes for the pseudo corner steal, but Red Dawn able to find their way out of the situation and claim a game.
I like that from Red Dawn, man. Not getting too anti on defense once they had that 100 tension in the corner. Didn't waste it on a quick YRC. Didn't try to just do a Hail Mary super on the wake up. Waited for Andrew to be in a position where that JD was YRCable. Getting on top of them, taking it out. Great stuff. But we're going back and forth here, man. Not just in the rounds themselves, but in the round counts. Liking what we're seeing, man. We've been seeing a lot of game 5s today. Maybe we get another one. I don't know. Definitely got some Red Dawn fans already in the chat, so we'll have to see. Of course, I think I've seen this BAH tag from other players as well in the bracket, so good luck to them. We'll have to see if JMAndrew can carry the torch at least right now.
Yeah, JMAndrew doing a great job at representing Bato. It's another beginner bracket, but here we go into more mixed situations. JMAndrew electing to spin the burst, doesn't want to get caught up in this Red Dawn a mix, but Red Dawn able to do it anyways. Look at this big counter hit converting into more mix. Red Dawn is so scary, but JMAndrew able to find a way out.
Great stuff, man. Projectile now, blocking that lariat, but you had the 50 RC to keep playing the game. Got you back and forth with these pine berries, man. This Elphelt, towards that later end of Season 3, been mixing us up with these pine berries when Elphelt got that juice buff. Banana coming out on the screen, catching the recovery of Andrew's projectiles. Red Dawn still able to get that afro out. Only one more hit to take it, and it'll be the hammer from downtown. Awesome Faust play right there from Red Dawn.
Red Dawn just doing such a great job adapting to these items that get thrown out on screen, but JMAndrew not afraid to throw out buttons in neutral, able to get the mix with the back hitting projectile. Here we go. JMAndrew showing why this character is so scary, but the whiffs, and Red Dawn's able to get a back throw. Here we go. Gets the meteors, gets the snip, snip, snip. JMAndrew is in a scary situation here.
We do have our burst, and we do have that YRC to play with. But Red Dawn was ready for it. Luckily, you didn't have to face that Afro pop, but you did have to get sent through the wall. Maybe Red Dawn a little confident there, tried to get a throw on that close slash attempt, but it didn't pay off quite yet. Still have 50 tension to play with. Gonna call out our little homie Mini Faust first. Didn't even need him though. Said, sit back, my man. I got it. I'm gonna take you out with this 6P. We're going on to game 4.
I believe that they did Scarecrow PRC to skip neutral and avoid the projectile. Red Dawn really showing a mastery for this matchup, it seems.
And it Mini Faust with the after the after hit as well from beyond the grave. Said, no, he's already dead. All right, though, we're going to this game 4. Liking what I'm seeing from Andrew. Mixing up Red Dawn, by the way, with those double cross-up pine berries. Able to get on top of us regardless, throwing us around a bit as well. But Red Dawn also got some tricks up our sleeve with that Faust. We got some heads-up item play, and it's paying off.
Oh no. Again, that 6P whiffs, that dead zone of it, normally would end up catching that situation, but it just doesn't work here. Has to go back to the 2K, the thing that's been working this entire set so far. Really not letting JMAndrew get anything started, but JMAndrew laughs in the face of a challenge, able to get started again, but look at this! The return hit of the projectile ends up stopping Red Dawn from getting the scary mix going.
Oh, awesome crawl on the projectile from Red Dawn, and the bomb was there to back us up, man. This Faust play is so heads up, but a little 2+ on that command grab. Andrew was able to punish it after finishing off that round, but man, it was really strong play from Red Dawn, but credits to Andrew for finishing their food.
You know, Andrew doing a great job on offense, not letting this scary Red Dawn pressure get to them. Look at Red Dawn using patience on offense whenever they have the bomb out, not letting it get to them. That JMAndrew's able to start their turn back, but oh, look at Red Dawn able to start this mix pressure again. Goes for the low that they've been doing off of that RC, but it doesn't end up working. JMAndrew able to get a chance.
100-ton weight to keep some pressure going, but Andrew was ready with that YRC, that 6P. Unfortunately, getting dead zoned again by that Pineberry. Good block on the cross-up low. YRC gives you another chance here, and in the mental sec, we got those command grabs applied. Red Dawn down around here, but has that corner pressure, but Andrew was ready to fight right back.
Andrew doing a great job representing backdash to really catch out that snip, but look at Red Dawn, not able to get the combo off of it. JMAndrew uses the YRC, doesn't want to get caught, and Red Dawn able to take a round and get themselves on set point.
What I'm seeing, man. Andrew catching you. Whoa, I don't know. I'm not surprised Red Dawn got hit, because was that a same side or a cross-up? I don't even know. We do have that burst to play with if we need to. Andrew's going to mash back with that 2K, but look, Red Dawn caught on and said, hey, I think this 2K option beats everything you do, right? Whether you're doing Rekka, Pineberry, I don't care. I'm pressing this 2K after. Andrew's got that Afro applied, but really heads up in the middle of the screen here.
You know, Red Dawn is doing a great job of representing these command throws and just throws in general, but I think JMAndrew just has experience on the side of dealing with Faust command throws, but it doesn't end up working. Red Dawn able to win themselves an absolute scrap of a set to get in top 8. All right, starting our top 8 off. with GGG's the Hoki versus El Macho, two players that we have seen on stream already, showing their prowess and why they're able to get in through top 8 winners. Hoki able to burst out here, and El Mosco just able to keep applying this pressure, gets the counter hits, catching Hoki being too antsy during defense and mashing, able to really go crazy, uses the Roman cancel on the command grab. It doesn't end up converting into the round, has more meter built up, and is able to take the first round with a perfect.
Strong stuff, man. So if you're paying attention to the other, you're watching the VOD, you can go back and check that Hoki game up against Squish, where Hoki had to play against a zoner Jacko. But here, El Mosco is on that Pixie character, going to be smothering you here in the corner. You're going to have to catch on to these tricks. You're going to have to catch on to how Mosco wants to layer that pressure. And we saw it earlier in their previous stream game. They love that command grab.
Hoki not able to fuzzy the Rekka there, but it's a hard thing to do. A double perfect in game 1. El Macho coming out swinging right now.
Now, Mosco going to make you hurt. Now, Mosco giving you a chance here, unfortunately dropping that close slash follow-up after that red RC. But that's not a mistake you're going to make very often. You get that out in the first game. Still getting a perfect, by the way, like you called out. So, Hoki, that's going to be your one freebie, so to speak. And if your freebie is a double perfect, got to lock in. I know that Hoki can do it, though. Very strong in this Anji. Almost graduated before at a previous academy. I think someone corrected me, told me it was Academy 11. El Mosco doing well, I think, also in the Clash reunion. Also, I'd have to check back those Hall of Fames. Two strong players. Got to see who comes out on top.
Hoki here, able to get a hit in, being able to enforce this pressure, using 2P, catching El Macho, mashing. This is the Hoki that we saw on stream versus Squish, able to break the wall with the super, gets a hard knockdown. This pressure is going to be devious, goes for the safe jump, tries to bait out the burst, but it doesn't end up working.
And that was a ballsy burst bait right there from Hoki, saying, Mosco, you want to press it? But it ended up paying off for Hoki regardless. But Mosco probably going to catch on to that, saying, maybe I can get my turns back for free if I got those defensive mechanics on my back pocket. Going to get that run-up throw, getting a punish here, and Hoki probably starting up a move. But, man, these grabs, grab early, grab often. And there, I said you couldn't get away with it too long. Able to finally get that close slash string up after the red RC. Mosco going to make you feel it.
Hoki on the ground here, facing a Chipp with positive bonus, doesn't end up blocking the mix, uses the burst here. Chipp, or El Macho, able to run up and get the grab, goes for the mix, and gets another perfect. It's like whenever they get on offense, they're unstoppable.
And Nagia from downtown, though. Hoki said, hey, I got Rekkas of my own, homie, and I'm going to show you those right here. Going to red RC to break the wall. Mosco saying, hey, I know Hoki likes the bait. I'm going to hold on to it. Going to try to use it for another opportunity here. Hoki going to get those hard knockdowns with that overhead. Getting a perfect for their own, man. Okay, so 2 perfects. We had those perfects earlier from El Mosco in that first game. Now it's going to be Hoki here in this game too, trading back and forth. Both of these players, when they're running their offense, man, it's impressive.
It's like El Mosco wanted to wait and hold that burst for an opportunity that just never got a chance to come. Chipp's health is just so low, and being a Pixie character, as you said, really makes for volatile matchups, especially against a character like Anji that's really great at enforcing this pressure and just does a lot of damage in their own right.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Cheesecake asking about the grounded dash. Yeah, so not only can you throw it, you can also mash it out just really fast, so it can be kind of tricky. But if you're preempting it, you're mashing that 2K. Of course, Anji right here on the screen, Hoki's got access to that 2P. That 2P can be a good check for that blade dash through. El Mosco pretty good at layering it, though. We'll have to see if they can keep that up. Right now, you're getting sent through the wall. Hoki going to cash out with this 50 tension. Going to make Mosco feel this one.
It's a hard knockdown. A lot of damage, showing what this can do. Goes for the fake safe jump into the grab. Really making El Mosco have the knowledge check there.
Going around, you can't be whipping too much or you're going to eat a 6H right there from El Mosco. Gonna DP right here saying, hey, it's still my turn, homie, or at least I'm gonna make it my turn. Getting these counter hits from downtown. Gonna cash out with the super. I don't think we're close enough to the wall, but Hoki in this corner is gonna be feeling this Chipp pressure, man.
Positive bonus, not breaking with a hard knockdown. So Hoki does have a good chance to interact. Oh, the Alpha Blade goes through and doesn't get a chance to be able to start this pressure. Hoki able to get a hard knockdown, gets the low, runs up, is very patient, gets the backdash, has the burst out, doesn't want to lose this round, able to get a big counter hit but doesn't convert into a combo, gets the low though into the Roman cancel, confirming the round to go up in the set 2-1.
Man, Hoki, so far today, not scared to give their opponents a little bit of breathing room in the start of these matches, but then starts running away with it. Of course, El Mosco had that double perfect, but now Hoki up 2-1. Looking pretty good for our Anji player, but El Mosco, when we're running that pressure, man, it can be smothering.
Hoki showing that just because you have some bad rounds back to back does not mean that you're out of a set. Guilty Gear is very volatile, and being able to control and rein in this volatility and make it more consistent is what makes the top players and even players that have been playing in this bracket so good.
Like that pin. Not just going for the overhead and the low every time. Sometimes you want to go for that pin to reset that pressure, get your opponent guessing, because then you can go for the empty hops and get the throws in as well, which I know Hoki likes to represent. El Mosco getting checked by that 2P, getting filtered out by that mash. You can't keep the gaps too big. Trying to get something started with this 6H right here.
Ooh, look at Hoki starting this pressure, going and taking that round very convincingly to put themselves on set point. Not only that, but they're able to steal away El Mosco's burst. Look at this backdash, calling out the grab. Gets the JD wall bounce, but knows it won't combo. So wants to run up for more pressure. Gets the counter hit, goes in for more pressure. Oh no, El Mosco is on very dire straits here. They're one hit away. Not on hard knockdown though. Doesn't get hit by the overhead. Stands their ground. But the DP gets called out by Hoki, catching it in the air and going up 3-1 to take the set.
All right, y'all. Down here on the loser side of the bracket, we got a familiar face here, man. HariTime coming in here on this Elphelt. Making it pretty close before, trying to get out of this Academy bracket. Today, they got another chance. You got to get through this awesome Kai play we've seen from Arashi, Miruku, from this Riot Milk, from this Shoto, this Kai, the Prince of Illyria. I don't know the lore. Here we go. Starting off strong.
Makes a big mix here. HariTime able to show this Elphelt off at the beginning of the onset, but look at Arashi. Look at the reactions and the guesses. Able to block out the super, finally able to get a chance of their own. That build-up risk not impacting their decision-making at all. HariTime out of burst, out of tension, and Arashi's able to layer on this pressure with that 50-meter of their own. Stun Dipper, Roman cancel, able to break the wall, and we're in scary situation time if you're HariTime.
Getting that Rekka started up here. Arashi was trying to press out of that corner, saying, hey, I only need a few more HP points to chew through. Able to get it on that Stun Dipper Red RC. Good stuff there from Arashi. HariTime was showing you, though, once we get you in that corner, he's going to make you hurt for it. 5K for that soft OTG. HariTime eager to get out, but Arashi eager to send you through. Building up that tension with the positive bonus. Trading our projectiles back and forth. Getting that burst away from HariTime. The Lariat getting 2P'd. Arashi was ready with the throw punish after. Great stuff from our Kai player.
You know, Arashi just... I think this is the second Elphelt they've had to play in a row. I believe their qualifying match was against JMAndrew, another Elphelt we saw on stream. And it's like they're really showing a great knowledge for the matchup and being able to just adapt to what HariTime is doing, not giving them a chance to really layer on this pressure like they want. And even whenever they did, you saw the guesses being right 3 times in a row.
Great stuff, man. Sometimes that's what happens. We got to go ahead and get these get these data rounds.
letting the intros rock out. Maybe wanting to try to gather themselves after that first game and absorb the information that they gathered. Going in here, goes for the 6H on round start, but HariTime not wanting to, or not able to connect with it, but look at this mash on that 4-framer, able to start this pressure, ends off in the safe ender, gets the hard knockdown. We're into cherry bomb territory here, getting left-right mixed, but Arashi wanting to go ahead and DP out, baits the grab by going back, and look at this neutral from Arashi, Cheek.
I love it, man. Arashi was showing us some good neutral earlier, showing it to us here again. Able to get those DPs, baiting out a defensive option with that run-up FD, but HariTime instead just did it with the chain shift, crosses you up. And that's what happens if you give up that Oki sometimes, man. Maybe you're too confident that your opponent's going to show you a defensive mechanic, but sometimes it can be as simple as a chain shift, a BRC, to take their turn back for free.
What? Look at Arashi, though. Able to get the stun state onto HariTime, able to convert this into a combo, ends up getting the wall bake, rides the lightning into the next scene transition and a hard knockdown. Is this the 5K safe jump setup? No, it isn't. It sometimes can act like a safe jump and allows you to bait out reversals, but it doesn't end up working there. Now we have to run through the bullet hell that is HariTime, zoning with these Elphelt projectiles, but Arashi's able to make it work, takes the round and maintains the resource lead.
Like what we're seeing, man, trading those projectiles back and forth. That Elphelt projectile, of course, can home after, but Arashi just shooting you with that perfect angled stun edge regardless. Sending you through the wall, getting that shock state applied. HariTime does have some resources to play with, but doesn't have that 50 tension yet. Stun Dipper Red RC is going to pay off for Arashi here and get another game on the board, but HariTime playing so much more solid in that game too.
HariTime showing what exactly we were talking about, going for that information. While they may have lost, they were able to really do some great adaptations there. It was just that Arashi was able to digest and absorb that information. It seemed a little bit faster and was able just to come out on top with their adaptations.
Wrong stuff, man. Wrong stuff. Letting this intro play out, taking a second to breathe. You've been watching the Academy, man. You surely at this point are a HariTime fan. We got some few familiar faces out here. HariTime's going to be one of them.
It was just, I really like the idea of letting the intros rock. Really lets them just absorb information. Like, it's really important to be on your A game and be willing to adapt and think about the matches that happened before you. Not only that, but giving yourself a chance to break up momentum. But oh, look at this from Arashi. The pressure just ends up going forward and gets the charge dust, but doesn't convert it into the combo ender that gives positive bonus, but Arashi doesn't care. Has the meter anyways. HariTime able to fight back, but Arashi just able to get the Sun State and keep on going. Blocks the YRC for the round.
Man, that is some heads-up offense right there from Arashi, baiting out that YRC. HariTime not taking it lying down, though. Going to fight you right back on that round start. Trying to see if we were going to represent that DP, but that's what happens. You end up giving up your turn sometimes. Arashi did it earlier. Now it was HariTime running you down the screen, trying to bait it out. Look at that, man. Both of these players are so scared about their opponents on Wake Up, and it lets you get that turn back for free. It's paying off for both of them.
You know, and it's just really showing the respect that both players have for each other, adapting and willing to be patient and reacting to what their opponent does. But oh, HariTime able to get this mix started, takes the round, shows that there's still life in this set yet.
Under hit, jump normal right there from Arashi. Got you in the corner trying to get out. You're too eager to play the game, Arashi saying. You're playing my game today. I'm up 2. I'm trying to take you out. But HariTime is ready, blocking out that pressure from Arashi. Gets rewarded back with the throw. And just like we baited that YRC, this time we bait the burst. Arashi in a solid set. Moving on, 3-0. Rev and Squish right here, man. Rev, another favorite to win the whole thing, man. Gonna keep it a buck. A very strong player. Squish, of course, on that Jacko, man. This Jacko can be a filter at times. You gotta know what you're doing against this Jacko. But right now, Rev showing you that he's got somewhat of a game plan with this life lead started. Squish trying to get out of that corner with that 2K2D. We saw it working for them earlier, but today, in this round at least, it's going to pay off for our Kai player.
You know, Rev is doing a great job at enforcing their game plan. They're the other side of the Arashi Kai player coin. They're extremely aggressive and very great at getting this pressure started. Like, look now, able to just use these buttons in neutral, converts it into a wall break here. The very different from what we saw earlier, or not very different from what we saw earlier. Look at this combo, goes into the conversion, but Squish is able to build burst. Doesn't want to get killed here, but Rev just doing a great job at getting around these bots and taking the first game.
Great stuff, man. That Jacko, if you can get around the bots, definitely a little bit easier to deal with. Right there, waiting for, Rev being really patient there. Of course, you can just run up and face tank some of those projectiles. But Rev instead just holding that back, going full screen, waiting for their perfect time to get that dash in jump normal. That's what you got to do against someone like Jacko, man. You got to be patient, and you see that from Rev when he has to be.
Squish, though, doing a very great job just using this zoning Jacko to their strength. Not only able to enact this mix in pressure, but also just makes it to where Rev has to use burst. They just respect them that much, even if the combo won't kill. Able to get the wall break, and Rev is back on their offense again. Has stun state applied, has the Roman cancel, able to break the health bar and obtain the round.
I'm liking what we're seeing from Squish, though. Counter hit 2D, going to get this bot set up, 2 of those to back you up. But Rev ready with that mash in the corner, saying, I don't want to play against those bots too long. And that's what happens if you're too quick dashing in. Squish is going to get you with these bots, get you with those projectiles. Rev, however, really quick with those mashes on the wake up, really quick with those DPs, saying, hey, I don't want to play that Jacko single player game. I'm on the screen as well.
Look at this setup here. What do you do if your Rev reversal won't work? But Rev able to stay patient, gets out of the corner, pushes them into the corner, and Squish has to use burst. On this low of health, you have no idea what Rev can do. Gets a big counter hit, uses the wild assault to push to the corner, gets a wall break with the DP, has positive bonus and 50 meter on their side.
And they're going to cash out that 50 meter right away on that stun dipper red RC. Man, Squish only had a little bit of life to chew through, was playing so well that round. Mixing up their projectiles, by the way. Rev was able to jump in on their bots earlier, but I didn't catch it in the replay. But Squish changed up their projectile timing a little bit, and it paid off there against Rev. But Rev only had a little bit of HP to chew through as well. Up 2 games here, but I like what we're seeing from this Jacko. We got to see how it pays off in this game 3.
Yep. I keep going back and harping on it, but it's just so important. Adaptation, adaptation, adaptation. And both players are representing it well. Squish being able to be active on defense, using things like burst like we just saw, getting the bot behind Rev, able to start their pressure sequence back, going in for more pressure, keeping an arm's length from a character like Kai can be hard, and Rev showing why. Poking out with R-Slice, but look at this counter hit from Squish. Almost gets a combo, but it drops.
Squish right here in the corner, man. Does have some meter to play with. Does so to keep that 2D safe. Says stun dipper at home. I got one as well. But Rev, man. Rev so well-timed on those jump-ins. Couldn't keep that combo going with Wild Assault, but Squish getting counter hit on that Fudra arc, and Rev putting us on set point.
You know, Rev just doing a great job at really being patient, showing that they have that patient Kai neutral side to them that we know Kai is able to do. doesn't get the combo there, tries to go for a shimmy, doesn't end up getting the grab, has the Roman cancel, but look at Squish being active on defense, able to interact, big 2D counter hit here, able to get the bot set up, pushing to the corner with more bot pressure. Look at the resources on the side of Squish, gets the grab, PRC converts into a combo, and then uses the Elysium driver to break the wall.
Great stuff, man. Squish, even with that late cancel with the PRC, was able to get this full combo you're seeing right now. Hard knockdown, catching the start up of that stun dipper with your bot. Man, Squish was playing so awesome that round. Rev, very eager to run away with this set, but Squish saying, hey, you're going to have to do it slow and calculated if you're going to get through me.
Squish, man, doing a great job at offense here. Running up, not letting Rev get into their head, using the Elysium driver. It's like they've had meter every time. And you know Jacko on hard knockdown, the mix that she can present. What is Rev gonna do here?
Right here, Squish just going for that jump and getting a bot applied after we got Rev in the corner, and it paid off, man. This has been a different Squish these last 2 rounds that we just saw. Getting a perfect to seal out this game as well. Definitely locked in, I'd say, saying, hey, I don't want to get Rev too free of a win here. In fact, I want to take it back. This is going to be the start, man. Great stuff from Squish.
You know, it's always great to see players like Squish fight back and really get themselves back into a set, even after being down 2-0. It's happened a couple of times today. We've seen a couple of reverse 3-0s or sets where they went down to the wire. It can be daunting to come back from and keep your head in after that much mental tax.
And look at all that damage Rev got off just a couple interactions, but Squish is going to give it right back to you with a positive bonus to boot. Tension is pretty even on each side. Both of our players trading it back and forth, but Squish is going to come out on top with that DP punish. Rev ready to fight you right back. The positive bonus paying off for Squish, right? Look, 100 tension, spent 50 already. Got Rev back in this corner, catching you with those counter hits, man. This is a different Squish.
Man, did you see that conversion that led to that wall stick? That was kind of crazy. Squish, though, starting the round off with a counter hit 2D, forcing Rev to use burst. Oh, but Rev can't get in. This pressure that they've been doing this entire tournament just isn't amounting to what they think. Gets the big hit, has the Elysium driver, and Squish is absolutely layering the pressure and damage on thick here, Jeek.
Loving what I'm seeing, man. But Squish is going to get you with that 2K2D. Another perfect here on this Jacko, bro. Looking so solid, I'd say. The different Squish coming out here. Elysium drivers. Getting some good bots here. Got to see some slowdown from our Rev. Got to see that strong play. We saw them in the first 2 games. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a Strive Earth moment right here, man. This has been a hard Saturday for fighting games. Going to keep it a buck with you.
But
both of our players are here in the stands. They're ready.
We're still seeing some amazing gameplay, though, regardless. Whenever Strive does work, it's the best fighting game. Like, that's, in my opinion, it's the best. We play the best fighting game.
We do.
When it works.
When we can play it, yeah. When we can play it. Okay, here we go. We got El Mosco adding Rev in the Discord, rooting for them right now.
I respect it. I respect it, man. Gotta show support for the homies in any way you can, especially in a set like this. Like, honestly, after what's happened, I think it's a good idea that they're taking a break. Even if it's Strive Earth related, but getting the chance to just wait, be patient, collect your thoughts for Rev, especially here, even for Squish too, is such a valuable asset.
Gonna go ahead and remake the room for both of our players. Okay, go. All right, so heater, here we go. Oh yeah, shout outs to the next Clash Reunion, by the way. I gotta start making the graphics for that, I'm not gonna lie. Clash Reunion 2 coming up for the Jeekly Academy 16. This is the 13th, by the way. 14th will be next week, and then we're back on our bi-weekly schedule. So if you want to get into that Clash Reunion, you got to get top 8 into a Jeekly Academy. Both of these players on the screen right now, Rev and Squish, have both qualified by getting top 8 in this bracket. It could be you. Just got to start joining up. Like I said, 14 is next week, and then bi-weekly after that, you got 3 more chances.
I got to play in the last one, man. It was some insane gameplay. Just like what's happening now. It almost felt like you were on the edge of your seat the entire time watching Rev go for the wild assault conversion and Squish able to find a way out.
YRC connecting after that Fujer arc. Rev wanted to keep that turn going, but Squish is going to jail you back. And look, we just changed our projectile arcs a little bit, and it's been paying off, getting Rev into the corner. But that Stun Dipper Red RC is going to turn to a round win for our Kai player, putting ourselves on set point. But remember, we're at game 5. Remember that Squish had that momentum back. We got to see if they can keep it up.
You know, Rev making some chips into this armor of absolute momentum, but Squish wrestling it back, commanding Rev and these bots to do as they're bidding, it feels like. Going into the corner, just absolutely layering on this pressure, but it doesn't end up working. The risk bar slowly fades, but it doesn't matter to Squish. Goes for the Roman cancel, but it doesn't end up for going to a combo.
Squish getting their burst back just in time to spend it off of that heavy stun edge combo, checking that backdash with far slash. You gotta be weary against these Kai players, man. That far slash can eat you alive, but Squish was ready with that 2K back. Rev kept themselves safe with that burst. Got Squish here in the corner. Diver clap. Red RC is going to be the confirm, and just like that, man, in a very close set, almost got it robbed from you, Rev.
All right, we're here in top 8. Arashi coming from losers, getting back in versus Mosco, who may have dropped the first game of winners, but they're still in this top 8, playing as strong as ever. Runs up for the 2D, a little bit delayed, not really expecting the low there, but it ends up converting into a super wall break. Hard knockdown, positive bonus, Chipp with 50 burst on their side. We're going for mix with the beta play, but look at Arashi being patient on defense, mashing out, gets the DP, and we're having Arashi offense.
Yeah, Mosco, we saw in one of their previous sets, had to play against a Bedman, and they are really patient about those projectiles full screen. And you're seeing it right now. They're really patient about those stun edges. And also pretty good on their anti-airs, too. You see, they go for a lot of 5P into conversions for their anti-airs instead of just mashing that 6P. But Arashi on a pixel going to scoop you out of the air with this close slash, saying, hey, you're throwing that shuriken a little too much. Don't you know that button is supposed to be bad? Mosco says, I don't care. I'm still going to take you in this first round. Great stuff from both of our players in a really close one.
You know, going into this, Mosco doing a great job being patient, almost matching that patience from Arashi on offense and on defense, wanting to absorb the situation the best they can. YRC run up grab. Oh, the grab gets jumped out of. Arashi gets the big read, back throw into the corner, and El Macho showing that they have a DP too.
Burst to push you back a bit, but unfortunately dropping that meaty Mosco is going to make you hurt for it, saying, remember the sting of that one, my friend. Remember the sting of that drop meaty. I'm going to make you pay for it. But great stuff from Arashi, man. Getting that goal burst. That was a well-timed burst, I'd say, but Mosco said, I'm not going to have any of that.
So, Arashi just being very patient, and I think Mosco is just taking advantage of that, using this swift, fast movement and rushdown opportunities from Chipp as a character, really showing how patience can end up biting you if you're doing it too much. Like this round start, doing a great job at getting this hit, pushing to the corner, but doesn't get a wall break. Arashi backing up, wanting to stay as patient as possible, getting hit by the low, converts into a combo, has to burst out to get themselves back in track here. Big JS doesn't end up converting into a combo, uses the far slash to be able to bait out the DP and punish, has the stun state, but doesn't end up getting a combo off of it.
Chipp getting that cross-up mix. Good block on that. Arashi trying to DP out of it, but El Mosco is too quick with it. Has a lot of tension to spend. Gonna just block after Arashi slows things down with that BRC. And the super, a little too anxious to use it. Arashi wasn't ready with the punish though. And El Mosco saying, hey, you gotta play clean or I'm gonna make you hurt.
Just ends up going to the wrong side, was expecting the punish because they did bait the super, but just not able to get what they want out of it. But it all doesn't matter. Gets the counter hit close slash anti-air, but Mosco has the burst to get out of the bad situation, forcing their mix with this cross-up. JS gets the spin top into the super, breaks the wall, positive bonus. Chipp, even without resources, is a scary demon to deal with.
Trying to block it out right here. Good FD block and a good check after by Arashi with that 2P you saw. Unfortunate drop on that combo, but the PRC keeps you safe. El Mosco has a lot of meter to play with and starts it on that YRC. I love that from Arashi, catching on to that habit from El Mosco on defense and making them pay for it.
Arashi, after losing 3 rounds in a row, is able to fight back and show that they're still in this game, adapting and getting back on offense, gets the counter hit jump back to JS, reminiscent of characters like Ram, just using these good air buttons to try and control space. But El Mosco doing a great job not letting Arashi get this patience and defense that they've been showing, uses the PRC, doesn't get the burst bait, gets the counter hit DP, had the stun state, but doesn't get a combo off of it. El Mosco is at 1 health here, has the super and the 50 meter on their side. I wonder what mix they're gonna go for.
Gonna cash out that 100 meter, trying to get the wall break. El Mosco with the 100 meter combos. Love to see that, but Arashi said, hey, I only have a little bit of HP to chew through. So El Mosco right there, delaying the inevitable seemingly. Arashi still able to get that last hit in. Great stuff, man. Man, that 100 tension combo from El Mosco was kind of sick right there, but Arashi saying, hey, that was my game to win, and I'm going to prove it to you. We're going on to game 3 after we even things up.
Evening the setup, trading games back and forth and rounds, showing that Arashi still has some fight in them. And it's not as if they were ever out of this match. Oh, no, quite the opposite. It just seems like they were finally able to really get a hold to this data and absorb it into their game plan. But El Mosco doing a great job at nullifying this, stopping them from getting anything happening. The burst traps El Mosco into the corner, but El Mosco able to get some mix going back again. Arashi able to capitalize on the fact that, oh my god, the duck underneath the diagonal beta or alpha blade, doing a great job playing defense, has to burst out a soul for a soul, stun dipper into the Roman cancel, gets a combo that breaks the wall.
Yeah, Arashi's really good at cashing out that 50 tension. Man, that was a risky stun edge right there from Arashi. El Mosco was gonna catch you eventually, but great projectile was active to stay yourself alive. El Mosco being really patient, just walking back, saying, hey, what do you want to do? What's gonna happen? I like what I'm seeing.
Not blocking cross up, was able to jump out though, looking great on defense adaptations. DPs for a DP. We're going on defense here with our reversals, but look at El Mosco, close to the wall, gets the wall break, has 50 bursts on their side, and Arashi, you're at low health, gonna get burst back, but maybe not worth spinning it here. Gets the RC combo, doesn't end up killing though, uses the JD Shuriken to chip some health off the board, but runs up and finishes the job with 5k. Very patient on defense. Arashi backing up, wanting to play their own game, control the pace of this match. Chipp doing a great job at neglecting that. El Mosco having to get through the bullet hell and the 2 S's, zoning here, doing a great job, but the stun dipper doesn't use the Roman cancel to keep up the pressure. El Mosco here, it's got on offense, but the Tide resources really make this matchup anyone's favor. What a good reversal super. Doesn't end up killing though, does a lot of damage. The cross up doesn't end up hitting. It's blocking all this pressure. You only have one more chance, and El Mosco able to get the OTG to go up 2-1 in this set.
Mosco loves showing you that super, man. Liking what I'm seeing. Arashi's a really solid Kai. You said it earlier in the mirror match, but you know, this game allows for that player expression. We have another Kai in the bracket right now, but Arashi plays so different, man. And these players are probably used to playing against Kais like Rev, but Arashi's just different. You got it, like, yeah, the buttons are the same, the punishes are the same, but when they're coming out and when Arashi wants to use them, I mean, that's a whole different beast. You're going to have to learn how to play against him. It's paying right off for this Arashi right here, taking El Mosco to the corner.
It's a big throw. Doesn't go for the OTG that would have killed, but does end up getting the kill from the charged projectile pressure that happens. It makes anything median is so hard to deal with. You got to guess in that situation, but Mosco showing a little bit of you gotta guess in that situation themselves. Goes for the wall, gets a mix off of it, but Arashi uses that DP, baits the DP, gets a back throw into the corner, able to start their own mix, goes for the JD setup. What a fuzzy overhead, converts into the combo, has the ride the lightning to break the wall. Jeek, this is getting interesting.
Breaking that wall, El Mosco does have a lot of tension to play with, chooses that YRC. Arashi did bait it earlier, but this time it's gonna pay off. Going for that command grab into the normal blade after, crossing you up back and forth. Arashi trying to get something started with that red RC, but El Mosco never scared at spending that YRC back. Great block on the overhead. El Mosco able to get a gold burst on that defense. Arashi just needs one more clean hit to take it. Is trying to get it with the stun edge, but El Mosco loves that super Ukyo.
Dude, what a reversal super. Way to keep your head in the game with us. With a projectile in your face, inches away from sending us to a game 5 in the set, and he lets that reversal super rip. But Arashi has the burst lead, able to keep up this pressure going, using this movement in the air to stop Arashi. Gets the burst into the corner. What a DP though from El Mosco. Has the meter on their side to continue this mix. Oh boy.
El Mosco trying to finish off this set, but you're gonna have to do so through a Kai like Arashi. Great mash right there on the startup of the blade with the 2P, but the command grab from El Mosco in that mental stack, it's gonna pay off for our Chipp player. After a close set, El Mosco's gonna move on 3-1. I hope y'all been loving watching this Bedman today. We've seen a couple Bedman matches at this point. If you're watching the VOD, go ahead and skip back and watch DannyBoi earlier as well. But they're going to be up against Rev, one of the Kais, one of the players favored to win this whole thing. But they're going to have to get through this Bedman first. And this character can be a bit of a filter. You got to learn some specific things on defense against it, some specific things on how they want to run that pressure. And DannyBoi is going to make you learn today.
Yep. Rev, essentially the last Jedi for Kai players. If you watch that last set, just an unfortunate game for Arashi, but DannyBoi showing off this pressure, really doing a great job representing these buttons that are able to contest buttons like Kai Far Slash, and able to take that first round pretty convincingly.
Wrong stuff, man. With a deep run in as well, getting that throw. I like what we're seeing. 2K coming out on the good mash there from DannyBoi. 236S going to carry across the screen. That's a cool thing about that special, by the way. Of course, it does a decent amount of damage. You can convert off that 2K, off that 2P. But you also got to admit that that corner carry that you get off of it can be pretty impressive as well. DannyBoi going to try to get out of the corner here, carrying us across the screen, even when it gets blocked. But Rev is ready with that air-to-air.
Rev just doing a great job on defense, staying tentative. Look at this counter hit, gets the DI, and gets the hit off the, like, OTG off the ground into some crazy mix. DI into die is not a true combo for Rev.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll be the first to admit I'm not even completely sure all the changes that DI gives you. So right there, Fudra arcing in. DannyBoi was willing to press, but Rev was ready with that 2H back, and it paid off. Danny getting down to this corner here. Feels weird saying Danny, but I'm not talking about the Kai. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's like a paradox. It's weird. I mean, but like, in contrast, doing a great job just starting this offense. Look at that bait! Doing a great job staying patient, doesn't need to use the Roman cancel, knows that Rev is in a position where they have to stay patient. One wrong move can be the doom of you, able to get this install, going into this crazy offense, but it's not hitting Rev. Rev is staying patient, knowing what it's like to be underneath the install and fighting for your life, going back, but DannyBoi able to burst out.
Oh, great back throw there from Rev, so that got kind of scary there. Of course, DannyBoi was threatening those DI specials, the Kobe's from downtown, but they weren't active quite yet, and Rev was able to get a hit in to get rid of that projectile. Of course, Danny trading the burst at the same time Rev did the wild assault paid off for Danny, and I think Rev was possibly looking for a reversal super on wake up, which is why we sat there and waited a moment. But the back throw paid off for Rev. A lot happened there back and forth. Our brains were cooking. Both of our players probably got fried craniums right now, but we still got a whole set to go through. This is game 2.
Just doing a great job at forcing these characters to use their burst from Rev here. He's done it before and doing it now, but DannyBoi not being phased. Willing to go in, start this pressure, gets the big follow-up, delays the bomb to get the guard crush. Rev can only do so much in this situation, but Stun Dipper RC is one of those things. We're going in for big pressure, and DannyBoi has the presence of mind to install, knowing they can't be punished. Lets it rock, and the bomb ends up killing!
Man, Danny not scared about these Kobe's, bro. Sending them out when we can. Good 6P right there. They really did help that 6P, by the way. You used to have a pretty gnarly dead zone, but it's pretty good nowadays. Danny really good at using it. Rev going to catch you with that close slash, though, and you had the shock state applied, so you're going to feel this damage with that TK RTL. Man, okay, cool option right there from Rev.
I didn't know you could do that. Big mash out from DannyBoi coming off of the wall break. Has a mountain to climb health lead wise, but not phased in the slightest. Look at this RTL on the follow-up. Gets a big counter hit, uses the Roman cancel, but watch out for this burst on the side of DannyBoi. Builds it just in time to survive.
And I don't blame you for bursting there, because look, DannyBoi is able to spend that 100 tension to get something going, but even I had already forgotten that Rev had that stun edge on the screen. So unfortunate. I like that decision from Danny, but it pays off for Rev here. We're going to the last round. We're running it down to the corner. That arrow code is coming out. It's paying off, but great DP from Rev. Doesn't want to hold that special.
I wouldn't want to either. DannyBoi is able to do some great things off of those specials in pressure and in combo conversions. Gets the YRC though, the Black Beat combo. Really makes it hard for you to get back in, but Rev using this wild assault, pushing to the corner. Danny gets the jump back S, gets the vacuum in, gets to start pressure again, but look at this grab from Rev.
Rev doing a lot of damage here. Now we are going to get our burst back for DannyBoi. I think we'll have another option here, but oh, great option there from Rev to steal away the burst, but Danny was ready right back with that white wild assault. You got to get through this dragon install again. The PRC delayed it for a bit with that DP, but just like Rev was able to pick you off with that projectile earlier, DannyBoi did so just here with that Kobe again, Ukio. We love slamming these basketballs.
Man, it is absolutely insane. You never know, you never think of Kobe passing the rock, but man, the rock is getting in Rev. It's just absolutely doing an insane amount of work right now.
Close set so far. Loving what I'm seeing. I know I always say that, but it's because I'm privileged, man. Y'all play awesome, and I get the pleasure of watching it here on the screen with my friend Ukio. Having some
Best
fun
fighting
watching this
game, man.
academy.
I don't know what to do. Best fighting game around. Look at this from Rev, though. Using the hard knockdown to push into the corner. Jeek. Oh, look at this from DannyBoi, though. Big stun dipper. Able to convert into more pressure for Rev. Goes for the run-in, but DannyBoi, patience of mind to use that stop sign 2S. Gets the explosion. Going to full screen. Gets the install. The zoning game from Bedman is really scary if you're not on your toes. But look at Rev. Gets caught by the bomb for a third time.
Man, Even mask off, bro. I don't know what we should be doing about that. I'm gonna be real, Rev. You did have that one interaction earlier where you were able to hit Danny in the startup of it, but now I don't know what's going on. Right there, you got the 2P of it, right? Dude, this Bedman character, like I said, it'd be a filter, bro. If I was on the screen, I'd be getting domed right now. But Rev saying, hey, I'm going to direct clad you back. I'm going to get this bed to the corner. But Danny's ready with a far slash of their own.
Grabs on that omnidirectional jump in that was going to be used for mix. Rev representing the charge dust, something that they haven't done in the set yet, and DannyBoi wasn't expecting it. Resource lead or not, Rev now has positive bonus on their side. Things are looking scary. Look at that vacuum. JS is able to get the super out. Even if they do burst, we're still in a good position. RTL has 50 meter on their side to keep it safe, but doesn't need to. Gets the combo, but it drops. DannyBoi on their back feet. One more hit and uses the uses the deflect shield to put themselves back in a good situation, but Rev able to close out that round. We have a scrapper right now.
Oh my god, I literally just mouth to the floor, jaw to the floor that last match. Thank god I got Ukyo and co-coms. I had nothing to say. Oh my lord, Rev making my heart stop out here. We're getting pinned back. Great projectiles here from DannyBoi, using those pins, using those error codes, but Rev getting picked up in that 236S. We're getting back in the round. A lot of damage here. Rev does have some tension to play with, but DannyBoi is going to get something started with that BRC drift forward. When you got that 50 tension cooking, you got to be scared of this DannyBoi because they are not scared to do this install.
Look at this, the far slash, able to catch out Rev from doing anything and wins game 3 in electric fashion. DannyBoi is doing some amazing things on offense. It's like they're trading tit for tat. It's so great.
Man. This bomb is going crazy. We got some Rev fans here in the chat. We got Rev and Danny fans. I think everybody's having fun watching this set. So both my players, if you're watching the VOD back, you know, be proud of the play regardless of what happens. Y'all are putting on a show, and that's all you can ask for. Danny gonna go ahead and burst after that heavy stun edge. Took them out a bit. Rev trying to navigate around these projectiles. Does so well by running right under. Great option. Gonna burst out after we got that trade hit back. Stun Nipper to close the distance, and these throws are gonna get the pressure started.
Doing a great job just pushing to the corner where Rev is a master of pressure, but DannyBoi using this jump back JS, vacuuming in to get more pressure and mix, and goes for the install. Look at these follow-ups, Jeek. The bomb ends up hitting again. The bomb one more time. Rev is absolutely getting locked down, but look at this RTL.
Great option of that RTL, and does the 100 tension follow-up. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it going, but Danny mistimed that meaty special, and Rev is going to catch you with that throw. Didn't get the OTG after, but the 2H in the scramble takes it. Oh my god, Ukyo.
The risk was slowly building on the side of DannyBoi. It felt like every single situation they made wasn't correct, but look at this combo. Goes for the JD conversion, gets another counter hit. This is looking scary for Rev. Pushes into the corner. The pressure is only mounting. Look at that risk get chunked off with each hit. Gets the wall break into the pin that kills with the perfect.
Damn, Danny with that clap back right there. Love to see that from our boy. Rev gonna projectile you back, saying, hey, if you're gonna make me play around the pins, you gotta play around these stun edges. But Danny doing so right now, getting DP'd right there on that safe jump attempt. Full charge 5D. Rev is gonna cash out with some good damage here, but Danny did just get their burst back.
Big positive bonus on the side of Red, finishing out that combo, and now DannyBoi has a big mountain to climb, and this install on the hard knockdown will help out. Gets the big overhead, plus frames on plus frames. Look at this RTL, can't get hit. Oh, gets hit! The RTL by the bomb! This bomb is doing insane work for DannyBoi right now. Gets a big burst bait, uses the wild assault, but it ends up crossing up. Goes up for the grab and gets teched. We're getting to some crazy pressure from Rev. DannyBoi, though, climbing this mountain still. 2K, 2D follow-up. Gets into the omnidirectional movement. The far slash ends up clipping, and DannyBoi wins the set 3-1 in electrifying fashion.
Back up here on the winner's side, y'all. We gotta decide who's gonna make it to grand finals. Red Dawn showing up on that Faust up against Hoki. Both of these players making it to second place before. Only one of them will be able to get out of this academy bracket today, if it's even either of them. Don't forget, we still got some players out on the loser side as well, but until then, we got Red Dawn mixing you up in this mix. Hoki trying to wake up with that jump back, the air throw unfortunate whiff, and Hoki's going to take advantage of it.
Doing a great job enforcing this Fujin pressure, really making Red Dawn work and have to fuzzy, but man, Red Dawn's defense is so incredibly solid, doing a great job at just enforcing this pressure in any single situation, gets the wall break, and has almost 100-meter and burst on their side. BRCs being traded and space being created. That's something that Hoki has to do to take advantage of this matchup.
Hoki does have that burst to play with. I'd be surprised if they spent it. Red Dawn only needs one more hit to finish off this round, but Hoki could just get a few combos going, and that's all it would take. But Red Dawn was ready with that back throw, said not today, no robberies happening this time. You're going to have to do it in the next round, if at all.
Hoki just trying to find their rhythm, but look at the backdash on the snip. Gets the hammer thrown into the air, and the counter hit 6P doesn't end up working. Hoki still has the afro on their head. Red Dawn not able to ignite it, but the afro, it's reset, and we don't fuzzy this time. Hoki's able to continue the pressure, gets the low, converts into a combo off the RC, and we're getting more pressure again.
Not enough to kill off that overhead on the Rekka. Got this stylish afro here on the Anji, I gotta say. Spinning through with that nice anti-air spin. Getting through that JH of Red Dawn's gonna pay off for our Anji player here. Unfortunate item right there is the trumpet, but able to get it back. Good stuff, Red Dawn, and Hoki in the recovery of that spin had to eat that parade. Red Dawn able to get both of their trumpets, so capitalizing on those items, but Hoki using the trumpet to actually go into the fish off the spin. That's some heads-up play.
6P on the jump in there. Doesn't end up really working for Hoki, but look at this counter hit from Red Dawn. Gets the side switch with the bomb, stops the combo from happening. PRCs the BRC to keep themselves safe. The needles don't end up hitting. Red Dawn is such an advantageous situation here, able to run forward, but has the trumpet on their side. Doesn't end up working. The 6P hits. It's able to get into this pressure sequence once again. The low converts into a combo. The Roman cancel tries to go for a burst bait, but it doesn't end up working. Hoki now has positive bonus.
Positive bonus, but Red Dawn's got a little bit of a haircut lined up for you. Said, hey, I know you already got an afro, but here's another, my friend.
Hoki doing a great job at the beginning of that set, and just in the game in general, trading back and forth tit for tat, and it's just something that it's really hard. That first game is always an information game, and you go back and forth as players start to adapt.
Whew. Oh my lord. Okay, you see Red Dawn doing a lot of those grabs, by the way, saying, hey, I know that I got some slow recovery normals like my 2H and my far slash that can get beat up by this spin. So how about I don't even play that game? How about I just get a lot of grabs in instead? Get these command grabs applied, use that afro to my advantage, and it's paying off. But when Hoki's able to get that anti-air spin, as I like to call it, through the JH, it also works for our Anji here. And look, we got this Faust in the corner, but some great defense means we get another chance to get out.
So look at how patient Red Dawn is, not letting the situation get to them at all. Hoki gets the big hit in the air confirm, and Red Dawn has to burst out. Doesn't want to take the situation. We got hitters in these streets for the mini Faust.
Mini Faust, where are you going? Nope, okay, never mind. We got Hoki on the fallback. Little guy helping us out here. I like that mix from Red Dawn. We did the double overhead earlier, but this time we went to the red RC down low. The Red Dog's got some different options off that mix red RC pressure, but Hoki's got you in the corner, man. These back throws though, Ukio, how many has it been so far?
It's been at least 2 or 3. Red Dawn is so active on offense. The hammer covers the gap where Red Dawn wasn't able to get the snip, and they take the first round of the second game.
Deep J2K and a late cancel on that mix. It's going to pay off for Red Dawn. Got Hoki caught up in this low tier shenanigans. I've been saying it all day, man. You got to be able to deal with these filtered characters. We saw the Jacko, we saw the Bedman, and now we're seeing it on this Faust.
Stays low. It's very patient in this mix, but oh no, Red Dawn able to get the combo. It doesn't convert into much and goes up in this set 2-0. Hoki is struggling to find the answer to this pressure.
Liking what I'm seeing, man.
You know, Hoki so far is doing a great job in staying in and making sure that whenever they're getting on offense, they're able to do something, but it always feels like Red Dawn just has the answer. Doing a great job keeping Hoki on the back foot at all points and times. It even feels like when Red Dawn is on defense, they still are in advantage state.
Of course, if you're good at using those crawls, you're good at using that 2K mash, that 2P as well. It's not the most, not the most explosive normal, but that 2P from Faust can do some good job checking for a Barre. Now, Hoki able to get out of that corner, able to navigate around that trumpet, and able to bounce you around in that projectile combo. Always love to see those, but Red Dawn staying safe despite these spins.
You know, Hoki doing a great job at spins, making sure to take any item or most of anything that gets taken into account, except for some times where Red Dawn is just having heads-up plays left and right. Decides to burst out, maybe wanting to keep the momentum that they have built in this round, but Red Dawn looking to not let it happen, gets the minis on their side, is able to establish some type of pressure, but the low gets the big counter hit, has the bomb to continue the combo, has the reader, but doesn't decide to use it, not thinking that it'll kill, and they end up getting the kill anyways, going to set point.
That was an awesome bombo there from Red Dawn. Didn't get too greedy and didn't want to extend it with that 50 RC. In fact, he used it later to confirm their 2K hit. Very wise of them. Mark of a good Faust player, I'd say. Hoki has to lock in here to try to bring it back. I'd say already a good start on this round. Bursting back to get another chance after throwing that projectile. But Red Dawn's ready with those anti-airs.
Look at the parry super, comes out from Hoki, not close enough to the wall to get a wall break, but close enough to be able to get some pressure started. Oh no, the air version of the spin follow-up doesn't end up hitting. You have to play push it here. Hoki tries to go for the full screen low, dodges the charged dust, but isn't able to get anything started. Red Dawn's spacing is so incredibly good.
Nice 2H check right there. The mini Faust is going to keep yourself safe. And in that mental stack, when the mini Faust is on the screen, you can get away with throws like that because your opponent wants to deal with that item. Under a ton weight coming out just in time to catch the ending frames of the spin. And just like that, Red Dawn is moving on to grand finals. Back down here to the loser's side, y'all. But no losers in sight, because over here we got Mosco playing hella good here on this chip, making people work for their games, and so far has gotten all the way up here. The loser of this match going out at 4th place, but nothing to scoff at. In this Academy bracket, it's been pretty stacked despite everybody being beginners.
Look at that combo from Mosco, just getting one simple chance and running with it. Getting the hard knockdown, converting it into more and more mix. The left-right is going insane right now. But DannyBoi able to YRC out, but Mosco having the meter to be able to match with it. The dead zone on the wall run JH from the tightrope really doesn't help you here. Counter hit JS leads into a combo, and Mosco takes the first round.
Great stuff from Mosco, man. No, from DannyBoi. No, from Mosco. Jesus. Okay, good. Jesus, I got mixed up right there, Ukio. I got mixed. I mean, because we were saying it earlier, Mosco earlier today also played against a Bedman, not 37 rats. So, yeah. And I said the same thing, that these were both mixed characters, you know. They're actually surprisingly similar, despite them looking so different. But Danny's got you in the corners, got that burst that backed themselves up, going to spend the spread RC to keep that pressure going. But great blocks from Mosco getting us out of the corner.
Oh, the one time that we don't see the bomb put in work and back hit somebody. Look at the mashes from Mosco. The 2D ends up hitting, but doesn't end up converting. Look at this reversal super. Mosco has been representing it a lot today.
We got to see how that reversal super is going to interact with that Bedman Kobe. For sure it's going to be interesting, and I know we're going to see it as much as both of these players like using those options.
Very great first game from Mosco, really able to adapt and show what makes them a unique player in this top 8. Not flinching at being on low health. This is Chipp Zanov. You gotta be used to being on low health because you're a pixie character.
Low health, but not low damage, and despite what the chips may try to tell you. Mosco right here getting this first game on the board. DannyBoi can make you hurt though if we get a good special cancel frame trap in. We get that bomb from downtown. A couple of those 2P mashes in the 236S, but until then, Mosco trying to get you with this 6K. Danny doesn't want none of that.
Mosco just not really getting a chance to go into these type rope conversions, but gets a chance there. DannyBoi really patient on defense, not wanting to let Mosco start, but look what happens when Mosco does get a chance to start. This mix is going ballistic. Strike throw left, right, another strike throw situation, has 100 meter, gets the 2 JPs to end up taking the round.
I like that from Mosco too, because I'm just going to keep it a buck. We saw earlier Mosco had some interactions where they were dropping combos after the red RC. So just doing 2 quick JPs to finish their food, I respect that, man, and it pays off. Danny's got you in the corner right here, though. Error code's coming out. 2P mash to try to keep this chip in the corner, and I love that anti-air. Danny's saying, hey, you got to get out of the corner in a true way. Not today, though, with this Kobe. Not enough to kill Ukyo, but it's close.
It does a great job making sure they can't get that JD in the corner. But look at this reversal super on the grab. Able to call it out and evens up the round count for this game. The big 6P on round start. Tries to establish that Kobe from mid-screen, but it doesn't end up working. Mosco is not scared. Gets more mix to left, right. What do you do here if you're DannyBoi? You're just getting caught up in more and more situations. Hard to find a place to press, and gets the Rekka to break the wall. Has 50 meter on their side, but DannyBoi is not scared. Blocks, holds their ground. Gets a chance to start enacting their pressure. Look at this counter hit, Jeek. We're going to see some big damage.
And he was going to keep it going. Mosco held on to that burst, and it paid off because the combo did drop. Danny had the burst right back. We're going to go into this dragon install. You got to hold that basketball from downtown. Here's the super, though. Man, I wish I spoke faster. I knew it was coming. I saw Mosco's brain churning, was ready to spend that 50 tension, and they did so to get game 2.
Normally you don't see people buffer things like they're playing Street Fighter 6, but Mosco had it ready. It was like a quick draw from a Western spaghetti Western movie shootout. Who's gonna win the projectile Mosco reversal super?
Great stuff. All right, I thought I muted my mic, by the way. I'm sorry about that, yo. All right, going into our game 3. DannyBoi been mixing people up all day on this Bedman. Mosco trying to mix you right back, though.
Oh, look at jumping directly over that follow-up from the pin. Gets the mix started, able to go in, gets the low Roman cancel. Look at this damage, goes for another mix setup, is on your back in the wall, gets the JS conversion again. Look at this mix, Jeek. It almost feels impossible to get out of.
Danny does get another chance here, though. Does have a moment of freedom out of that mix, but Mosco just coming right back to throwing you around. Good jump back to get away from that blade pressure. The anti-air wasn't enough to kill. Mosco needs one more chip to do it. No pun intended. It's going to be that low follow-up on the Rekka as we move to set point.
Chip able to move on to set point, but DannyBoi playing their game here, not backing down at all. 2K2D, but Mosco represents the DP, something we haven't seen a lot of from them here recently in this set. But DannyBoi, look at this though, able to jump out, continue the pressure. Mosco is not scared, maybe going for a burst bait there, goes for more mix setup, gets the reversal, but the PRC able to call it out, has great advantage here. and is able to get the 2K2D. What are we gonna do here? Gets another bait!
Oh my gosh, El Mosco's been getting away with this super all day today, but Danny's got you in the corner saying you can't jump out of this 6H right here, homie. I'm gonna make you hurt for it. So just like that, we're evening up the round. Still set point for El Mosco, but we got some signs of life from this bed.
Ooh, look at this mix though. Goes for more Alpha Blade cross-up stuff, but look at the back throw from DannyBoi. Hasn't really seen it, been much happening today. Delays the explosion to make it meaty to where you have to hold this guard crush. Reminds me of Master Hammer setups. Oh, look at this combo. El Mosco on low health, but there's that reversal super.
Oh my god, El Mosco doing this super all day, saying if it's not broke, don't fix it. DannyBoi, great block on that same side from El Mosco. Great blocks all around, in fact. Oh my god, until it was the red RC mix. You can't block forever. Not enough to kill, but so close. DannyBoi does have 50 tension to play with.
Oh no! JD to get over any attempts at pressure, and El Mosco takes the game 3-0. We have losers finals here of the Jeekly Academy number 13, and El Mosco getting it started off right, making a crazy run through losers, but that doesn't mean that Hoki hasn't made their way paved and paid here. Gets it to winners, and we're trading resource for resources. Fujin charge to go in, baits the DP. Look at this from Hoki, tries to start a big conversion, and we're already seeing the reversal super that has made them into this situation. But look at that combo. Doesn't get the pickup like you would thought though. We're on dire straits here for both characters. The scramble, the 2D doesn't end up converting into a kill, but look at this JS conversion from Hoki, but it drops again.
And Ukyo right there commentating through 2 HP bars. We were scrambling back and forth for a second, my man. El Mosco, by the way, plays like somebody who loves the game. And you tell, like, El Mosco be sending that DP on wake up because he feels like it. He's sending that full screen super because he feels like it. And it's paying off, man. That's why we're here in Losers Finals.
Man, El Mosco just seems to be letting it rip right now. There was like 3 or 4 times that last game where I thought it could have went either way, but Hoki bursting into the corner, baiting the DP. This is going to be a lot of damage. Has 50 meter on their side, but the conversion also drops, but gets the low anyways. Goes for the RC, is able to convert into a wall break. Positive bonus on Anji. Not as scary as on Chipp, it's still scary regardless. Goes for the JD, doesn't end up rocking the cross up, and Hoki ends up losing the first game of this Losers Finals.
Good stuff there from Mosco, man. The Goat Seer. Got pretty low there for a second. Both those rounds, by the way, so close. Both the rounds went in El Mosco's favor, but those were some close-ass rounds. Don't let anybody fool ya. Hoki is somebody, by the way. Hoki is someone, I like watching Hoki because it's someone who, like, they decide they want to win and they just start winning. Like, you know, they don't need momentum. They don't go on tilt. They say, oh, okay, this is what's going to work, and then it starts working. And we'll have to see. El Mosco's on a timer.
Oh, tries to go for the same setup that got them that first hit in the first game of the set, but Hoki having none of it, adapting, gears turning, absorbing that information. But look at El Mosco here, willing to use that DP, denying Hoki the chance, and look at those reactions, Jeek stops the grab from hitting them.
Oh, couldn't get that throw in, maybe a little too plus after that BRC slowdown. Hoki's going to spin right through you. We do got bursts on each side of the screen. We'll have to see if either player decides to use it. El Mosco, low HP, definitely just wants another hit in. Hoki says, hey, this is my game to win, but is El Mosco going to let you? Staggering out these lows, getting you on that overhead with the Rekka. The fast RC finishes it off. El Mosco up around in game 2.
Doing a great job here in Keishu with the raid. Thank you so much. Able to continue watching this insane gameplay here at the Jeekly Academy 13. Look at Hoki going in, going crazy, but it doesn't end up amounting to what you would think. El Mosco not on the back foot as you would think.
Yeah, Keishu definitely one of the players you got to be looking out for. Had a good run at the AWT LCQ. Shout out to Keishu. Also, hell of a stream. Always tearing it up in tower with the new characters. This is the next reign of players, by the way, Keishu. These guys are going to be coming for your points sooner or later. Once this ranked mode comes out, you're going to be playing against these beginners out here at the Jeekly Academy. We're here in losers finals. Mosco is up a game right now, trying to take out Hoki, who's made it to that grand final spot before, trying to do so again today. We'll have to see, but this Anji is filtering you back.
Diggs H, gets the big hit, converts into something special, gets the wall break here. Positive bonus on the side of Hoki. Look at this bait though. Doesn't end up getting hit by the reversal super. Big counter hit, goes for the low, doesn't think to kill, and gets the follow-up off of the spin to tie the setup 1-1.
Great stuff. Great stuff, man. Hoki out here cooking. Hoki said, wait, this is how I win. Hold on, let me just start doing this stuff. That's how Hoki plays, man. That's how Hoki plays. Appreciate everybody coming in. Hopefully you all had a good Saturday so far, whether you're watching gear or playing gear. It was a good week for fighting games, by the way. Of course, we got Venom out. Everybody knows about that. City of the Wolves. That's a free online beta, by the way. Go download that beta and start playing some training mode, y'all. It's pretty fun. And also, that 2xKO video got posted. All your favorite content creators have reaction videos. This is a really good week for fighting games, I'd say.
And it's a great day for fighting games as itself. Jeek, you're hosting a great event right now, and it's just these players are making it so much better. Respect for each of them, going back and forth, trading these bursts back to back because they know what each of them can do off of a stray hit. The mix though doesn't convert. Chipp here, and Mosco able to get on this tightrope, left, right, JS spin top pressure. What do we do here if we're Hoki just getting absolutely mixed?
Getting thrown around back and forth. Mosco said, hey, I'm not your friend today. Today, I'm your filter. Oh, I like that. Oh, my God. Okay, so, dude, I complimented Mosco on it earlier, but we dropped that combo a few times, so then we instead adapted and did the JP, and Mosco did it again. Said, hey, I know I can win if I just hit a few buttons. If I don't drop this, goes for the safe stuff and gets it. Hoki bursting out of the corner, trying to get something started here.
I respect it. The combo that does the optimal combo for a situation is the one that does the most damage. And if you're not doing tournament safe combos and you're dropping, it doesn't matter how much damage you're doing because you could have got more with safer combos. Speaking of safe combos, Hoki getting that B&B through the wall, doing a great job of representing this mix, but El Macho doing a great job at making sure Hoki can't get what he wants. The hard knockdown, goes forward, uses the movement to get out of the way of the butterfly, and look at this mix. 6P ends up catching but can't get the confirm into the kill. We're going into the spaghetti neutral.
Spaghetti neutral is where we like to be out here, depending on who you are, depending on which player it is. Mosco, definitely someone who loves playing this game, man. I can tell by their play. They definitely want you in the scramble, especially here on this Chipp. Hoki right now trying to get out of the corner with these spins. Awesome anti-air close slash. It's going to turn to a decent amount of damage. A DP punish going to follow it right back up. And just like that, Hoki is now up 2-1.
Hoki coming back from what looked like dire straits at one point. As you were talking about, the adaptation is insane. It's like they don't let the outside factors get to them. No tilt, no care in the world. They just flip that switch and decide that they're gonna win.
Now, the amount of Dragon Ball gifts that are going on in my Discord, by the way. Mosco is getting a power-up from all the fans. Mosco out here like Trunks right now. I don't know my Dragon Ball lore, but I think that's future Trunks, right? I don't know. Someone help me out. Mosco out here. Of course, Mosco in the Discord, by the way, I think has a Vegeta profile picture. Everyone's hitting us with the Dragon Ball gifts. Maybe I'll remember to put some up for the VOD. I don't know. But y'all, exclamation point Discord in the chat if you want to come and see them. As we go into this game 4.
This is great to watch. Not only are the outside factors making it so much more enjoyable because the community itself is so enjoyable, and just look at this pressure from from, I swear I'm not forgetting, El Mosco going in for more mix left and right, doing a great job at converting into combos. I think we're close enough for the wall break. Positive bonus Chipp is a scary force to be reckoned with. Hoki on the back foot. Oh! Doesn't fully wait out the parry super, and now Hoki is on the offensive.
Just in time for El Mosco, though. Dude, El Mosco, with any amount of tension, I'm looking for that super, but we don't need it today. El Mosco's going to play it safe with some cross-ups instead to get a round here started on the board. Hoki does have their burst back after a couple more interactions. We'll have to see if they need to use it. Until then, El Mosco's getting this DP bait and wants to spend back their burst of their own.
Oh, the 6P not end up working there. Gets baited out by standing on the top of the rope itself, but El Mosco going in, getting these grabs, setting up for more pressure, tries to backdash, catches the backdash with the grab. What a burst bait, Jeek! We're gonna get a big wall break here.
Yo, El Mosco out here straight gapping in this round, but Hoki with that anti-air code tried to keep it going back with that close slash, but El Mosco taking their turn back with that YRC definitively. We're going on to game 5. Man, the winner of this one gets the privilege of playing that Faust up in the grand finals. Who is it gonna be? GGG fans, let me hear ya. Or if you're rooting for this El Mosco, now is gonna be your time as the momentum's in their favor.
I have no bias. Just no bias at all. Nope, not me. No.
Yeah, not from GGG Ukio.
It's getting to play so often with players like Hoki and seeing them in these situations. It just makes you a proud teammate, but man, El Mosco is so much fun to watch. I think either way, whoever wins, we're gonna get an electrifying grand finals.
Oh, that 6K connecting, no conversion after, but that did some mental damage surely. Gonna burst, they keep Hoki here in the corner, doesn't have any defensive mechanics to fight back with outside of your 2P and some good defense. These backdashes are getting called out here by El Mosco, confirming to the super, not gonna be enough to kill, but this mix can be deadly, especially how El Mosco likes to play.
Has 50 meter on their side. Hoki with a great 2P. That button is absolutely insane from Anji. A 5-frame button like that catches the backdash with the reversal super to go on set point.
Dog, El Mosco with these goddamn supers, man. Y'all need to punish him so he gets rid of this habit. But if it's not broken, don't fix it, I guess. El Mosco getting here juggled around by Hoki in this last round here potentially. El Mosco on tournament point, on set point rather. Hoki trying to get something started, but these co's are getting punished.
Look at Hoki representing this 2P now that they have to not let El Mosco get this. Oh, gets the punish on the reversal super, but no, doesn't get a combo. The far slash ends up hitting instead of the close slash. Goes for the overhead mix, trying to play patient. That's the low, catch the backdash. We're in a last game, last round situation for who's gonna go see Red Dawn and Grand.
El Mosco said, let it be me with that wild assault counter hit start here. Building up enough tension to get some mix in. Both of our players spinning right past each other, it seems like. So eager to get this offense started. Hoki's got El Mosco in the corner. Able to get out with the special, but getting that DP baited, waiting to burst it out. Here it comes, potentially 100 tension to play with. El Mosco's gonna send it. Get ready, y'all.
Has to go in deep here, uses the YRC, catches the backdash with the far slash, ends up catching anyways. Look at this Rekka pressure, tries the 6P, goes for the JS, and he gets caught with the reversal super like you were saying, Jeek. We're gonna get a hard knockdown at mid-screen, but this isn't gonna kill. Anji has the gun. Look at the parry super, but no, doesn't end up connecting. El Mosco punches their ticket to grands in a scary final ground. All right, starting out this grand finals of your Jeekly Academy 13, we have Red Dawn making an impressive run through winners, but not to be outdone. El Mosco making an insane run through losers, winning nail biter after nail biter. Going into this first round here, El Mosco has to YRC out of the situation. gets the grab. Our money maker sets up for the mix, gets the cross up, another cross up. What do you do here if you're Red Dawn? You're stuck with Chipp staring you down with positive bonus.
And Red Dawn, if there's going to be anyone that's going to punish these habits from El Mosco, it may be this player, Red Dawn. On the Faust, been playing out of their mind. They are so on top of their punish game. They are so good with their niche normals in different situations and different matchups. We've been seeing them play a lot of different characters today as they take this first round on a comeback, by the way. Great stuff. El Mosco, though, if you're just watching, clicking around on the Faust VODs, you got to go back and watch this Chipp, man. El Mosco has been a treat to watch all day, and surely will be a treat to watch here in this grand finals.
It's the, ooh, look at that. The Beta Blade down, or no, the Beta Blade's a DP. Alpha Blade down, catches the 6P whiff, but look at the what could this be? Gets the super out, makes it to where the mini Faust is trying to do something, gets the cross up. Look at that bomb behind your back, though, and Faust ends up getting the mini, and the mix into the combo doesn't end up converting.
Ooh, BRC to chain shift and slow things down. Red Dawn caught on a whiff grab right there. El Mosco gonna make you hurt for it. Look at this mix. We're putting you in the blender. Red Dawn really confident that we're gonna win this round right here, but El Mosco throwing that super out. Oh my god, dude. You guys gotta go back and watch this Chipp player, bro.
Dude, it didn't matter what. Okay, so while that may be a bad habit, what a heads up play. That PRC into the Scarecrow mix, it didn't matter how they reacted or what they did. They were pressing a button regardless. And look at what Red Dawn's putting out here. Look at this damage on Chipp. Doesn't have the meter to make that Rekka safe, but is able to JD out of the situation. Look at the mini Faust. He runs away, but he comes back with a vengeance, gets the mix, and we have hitters out in these streets.
BRC Scarecrow going to get a punish here for Red Dawn. Great stuff. El Mosco caught up in the recovery frames of that advancing normal. Red Dawn also, I mean, that's a mark of a good Faust player, man. Able to use that 50 tension in a lot of ways, right? Lets you skip the neutral, of course, but it also lets you get an awesome punish game against these characters that are throwing out big buttons with long recovery. So great stuff to Red Dawn getting their first game on the board here at Grand Finals.
You know, just doing a great job here from Red Dawn, you know, just showing why they're in this grand final seat that they are, but El Mosco making up a good fight. First game is always a data round, it looks like, and as they've been through this set, close set after close set, they've come out on top.
Forcing Red Dawn back, playing on that rope. El Mosco showing us that rope more and more later through the sets, but Red Dawn going to go ahead and close slash you on the other side, saying, I don't know what you're doing with that rope, homie. A little bit of a grand blue handshake, and Red Dawn's going to come out on top with this command grab.
The snip, PRC snip, really makes this pressure hard to deal with and predict, but all that risk gauge slowly fading away from El Mosco's risk gauge. Gets close to the wall, but I don't think this breaks. Gets the 6K, gets to the wall stick. Positive bonus Chipp with 50 meter in their back pocket. Let's see what El Mosco does.
We're getting mixed around. Red Dawn not going to let you get away with this one. Has some tension to play with. Going to save it for the mix. Going to see that El Mosco throw coming from a mile away. Good backdash on that as Red Dawn gets another round here on the board.
Big 6P from Red Dawn. Heads up play in general, making it to where these air approaches that have been making everybody pay, it just aren't working out. Red Dawn able to cycle these different items, but El Mosco doing a great job at staying grounded, making sure they get positive bonus when they can, making sure they keep their advantage.
Hard knockdown coming out. 6K. Going to convert for El Mosco, cashing out that tension. Won't be enough to kill even against Faust. But we got some positive bonus to back us up. Good jump in there from El Mosco, cleaning things up, bringing us to the last round of this game too.
Would only be fair for this set to be close, and even so, Red Dawn just doing a great job at controlling the space. Goes in for the DP, but look at the mini Faust chasing down El Mosco. Doesn't matter if they're able to get it or not. And Red Dawn gets the back throw into the corner. We're going to set up items and get some crazy mix going.
Dancing around this bomb. Oh my god, the Alpha Blade from downtown paying off here for El Mosco. We got this Faust here in the corner. The life is small though, Ukio. If Red Dawn just gets one more clean hit, maybe with a Scarecrow PRC in the near future, it may be curtains for El Mosco, at least in this game too.
Look at this mix though, Jeek. It's going to be hard to be able to get anything. Goes for the Roman cancel. Doesn't end up working. The BRC back. Makes sure that a PRC Scarecrow mix doesn't end up hitting. Goes for the air jump. Gets the snip into the bomb explosion. But it doesn't end up working. El Mosco ends up losing that round, and Red Dawn goes up 2-0, one game away from claiming Jeekly Academy 13.
Man. In that bomb mental stack, it can be pretty crazy.
You know, El Mosco has been doing a great job through the tournament so far by not letting nerves get to them. They're always, it feels like it always feels like they have a handle on the situation, but Red Dawn is just throwing so much pressure at them. Dealing with these bad habits that you've been calling out so far, Jeek, making it to where they have to work and have to do a bit more. But they're taking a second, getting off the stand, gaining their composure, breathe in, breathe out. You still got this, man. Let's keep it going.
All right, I'll let the record show this. So in the Discord, after that last round, El Mosco, GG's Red Dawn. And Red Dawn, and then three of us are like, bro, you got one more. Says, holy fuck, I was in the time chamber. All right, let's go. So here we go, man. If this is the start of El Mosco's comeback, let the record show that another universe he thought he lost here. But here we go. We're coming in, man. We're coming in. This game 3. Red Dawn's been making you work for it. But El Mosco, with a really good 2D counter hit, is going to start this round off strong.
What a way to start. Look at that conversion. Goes for more hits and gets the stagger pressure into the grab. Goes for the grab one more time. Goes for the grab a third time. What are they going to do here? Goes for the fourth. Goes for the 6K one more time. Doesn't matter what you do here. Red Dawn doesn't escape with that round.
Oh my god, dog. El Mosco.
God.
I think what tilts me, bro, is that El Mosco didn't just red RC that last command grab, like just like finished off with the 6K. Like, you got it still, so good job, man. But El Mosco, lock in, my man. You got to get out of the time chamber. Red Dawn gonna go through the wall right here. We got burst. We got tension to play with. We'll have to see how we use it.
BRC's forward, but El Mosco on the ride back. The Alpha Blade doesn't end up connecting. We're going to the corner here, but Red Dawn doesn't end up getting caught by the super, but doesn't get a punish out on it. It's such a hard super to punish from where it leaves, and the hammer ends up getting El Mosco, tying up the rounds one apiece.
Look, everybody watching this VOD, everyone in the bracket today, I'm giving you homework. This is the Academy after all. Go lab a punish to that goddamn Chipp super. I am begging all of y'all. El Mosco right now command grabbing you. Got you here in the corner. Great 2K match there from Red Dawn. The hammer gets blocked after that BRC slowdown. Trying to get one more hit. Red Dawn does have burst if we need to spend it.
I mean, Red Dawn, though, is on the offensive, so it's probably a good idea to save it. Doesn't use the super to break the wall. Doesn't want the hard knockdown, it seems. Goes for the BRC into another situation, but Red Dawn has to burst now. But look at this, going for mix, down backing the best they can, trying to stay patient. The Alpha Blade doesn't connect, but gets a big counter hit. Doesn't convert into a combo. Gets the mix, has the RC to make it safe. One more conversion, and oh, here we go. El Mosco puts a game on the board, coming out of the time chamber fresh and clean.
Man, I like that mix too. Red Dawn probably looking for either a double overhead or looking for a low there after that red RC, but instead it was the cross up on the Alpha Blade. I'll admit, I got hit there.
And I also got hit. There was no way I was blocking that.
Yo, Rev's spitting right now. El Mos Goat. I'm pinning that one. That's funny. El Mos Goat, bro.
I think, you know, thinking back to it, I think I know the reason why they didn't RC that last grab. I think because they wanted the mental damage, because that carries on during the set, not just during a game. But El Mosco able to get into this very mixed situation, has the tightrope set up, but look at the match from Red Dawn. So heads up, this pressure is so hard to get through. The corner steal off of the JS, and look at Red Dawn able to continue this pressure, has 50 meter on the board.
All this HP. Oh my god, the run-up DP from downtown El Mosco. Getting on top of you right quick. Bouncing this Faust around, getting that cross up. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it going. The BRC slowed things down for a second. El Mosco needs one more clean hit, but Red Dawn does have some tension to play with. Great block there on the low. The flex shield to get some distance. 100-ton weight. Good jump over it, but the back throw, that jump in was way too high. El Mosco on a little bit of life here. Great item from Red Dawn, but El Mosco is having none of it with that back throw.
Oh, the grab, able to stop the meteors from playing a factor. What a heads up play. Big 6P from Red Dawn. Gets the cross up on the mix, but the combo doesn't end up converting. Has a throw from El Mosco. Goes, jumps the grab, not getting put into his through loop like they would if they were playing Street Fighter. The low doesn't end up connecting. El Mosco backs off, wants to play patient, wants to get this round, gets the 2K 2D, doesn't hit the wall though, gets the grab. This is going to be some big damage, Jeek.
Oh man, El Mosco not scared to throw out those command grabs. Great crawl there from Red Dawn, dodging the 6S there from El Mosco. Oh, burst saves you for this time. Red Dawn tried to get that Scarecrow PRC. Great punish here this time from Red Dawn on the El Mosco for that super attempt. The mental stack was high. The command grab comes out. Let's see what this is going to be. It's going to be that JD clean hit. Red Dawn on tournament point.
Goes and rolls the dice for a risk on that reversal super. Man, El Mosco has their back to the wall right now. Oh no, gets the combo to start off the round. Goes for the aggression, doesn't get a chance. Red Dawn has to jump back, doesn't want to get stuck. Goes for the overhead and lets the Scarecrow mix work, but blocks the cross up on the Alpha Blade. Beta Blade comes out, gets the big counter hit, has 100 meter on their side. Jeek is going to push to the corner, gets a reversal super, but this isn't going to kill. This is going to do a lot of damage though.
Dude, El Mosco picking, no!
No! No! Oh man. Oh, what an unfortunate desync.
It happens.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay, so Red Dawn, the instructions I gave us said Red Dawn take the first round. And then, I almost said Uki. And then, El Mosco is going to take the second round. El Mosco's press a button? What the fuck? Okay. All right, now El Mosco takes this round. Okay. And then we're going into round 3, y'all. This has been a fun one so far. Definitely love what both of our players are doing. I love that somebody is finally punishing El Mosco for that super. I knew it would be someone like Red Dawn. Definitely has that punish game unlocked. Knows how to play this Faust. El Mosco is a heart player, if you know what that is. Definitely a heart player. And here we go, Ukio. For real this time. Grand finals. Potentially tournament point for Red Dawn. But El Mosco on a comeback.
El Mosco starting out safe, going for the JS into the mix situation, but getting that stagger pressure into the grab. Gets one grab. We're gonna see shadows of future past here. Goes for the 6P, but it doesn't end up mattering. Oh no, the reversal super gets punished by Red Dawn. You have to use burst there. You don't want to lose this momentum. Though the Afro ends up hitting meteors off the top, but the hard knockdown makes it to where you can't really get anything off of them, Jeek.
Oh man, that J2K punishing Alpha Blade was actually insane from Red Dawn. This is a close game for either player. It's paying off for our Faust right now. Got that chip in the corner. Trumpet is going to get picked up here, and the command grab and the mental stack takes it. We got there, y'all. It took a second. But the Jeekly Academy 13 is the first one where a Faust graduates.
Oh, I had a great time. It's always such... Like, I know I keep saying it, but being a past beginner myself, it's always great to come back and get a chance to experience the newer players that are coming into the scene while I'm trying to grow and make myself a better player. It's awesome to see how y'all grow and change throughout each bracket that not only I get to commentate, but I get to watch.
Alright, guys, that was the Academy 13. I'm going to cue this up. 10 seconds on the clock. Exclamation point league in the chat if you're interested in that. Anyone can sign up. I hope some Academy teams sign up. That would be cool. The Jeekly Academy will be next week as well. Next Saturday, back-to-back. So make sure you sign up for that. Jeekly Open, of course, is always there. Check out the VODs if you have the time. Until then, everybody, peace out.